Hello and welcome everybody to In the Guard with Mike and Tony. I'm Mike here. We're going to be going over MMA, Bellator, UFC, a little bit of boxing touch, everything that's going on in the fight world.
And what's up, everybody? I'm Tony. We're also going to talk about whiskey and wagers, what we drank last night, what we bet, what hit, what didn't. So if we got the hits, we got the hangovers. We'll be covering that as well.
We got a whole bunch of stuff going on, big cards, a lot of championship fights going on. We had some disappointing fights in this past week, some letdowns for me in particularly. But again, we got plenty of stuff to cover. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to start off with UFC 256.
All right. Whoa. Most memorable moment. What sticks out to you before even jumping into it? What was your most in 256? You got to pick one thing you can only talk about right now. What would it be?
Well, I don't want to talk about the most disappointing thing that ever happened in the fight was that
you're welcome, y'all.
Travesty of a co-main event between Tony Ferguson and Charles Oliveira. The biggest letdown ever. I was hyped. I was pumped. I was selling it like it's going to be one of the greatest fights of all time, and it comes out flatter than a plate of piss.
I don't think they heard you. You know, it's a long way from the island to the shore. So can you run through that one
time? Listen. I was sitting there watching UFC 256, loving it. Great fights. We were prelims all the way on. Had some cool submissions, some knockouts. And then all of a sudden, I thought maybe on Fight Pass, I accidentally put on Submission Underground. Or maybe I went over to the Quintet or something like that. What is this, ADCC on YouTube? When did we get to a grappling match? I didn't want to watch this. I wanted to see some blood. Just bleed, right? That's the UFC theme. All the meatheads like me. Let's see some strikes. Let's see some hitting. Let's see some actual action.
And that's broad strokes, ladies and gentlemen.
I am a jiu-jitsu practitioner, right? I train, I compete, I can understand, I can appreciate all the stuff that goes into what Oliveira was doing, but I don't want to watch that shit. And if I do, I specifically will search it. I'm gonna look for a jiu-jitsu tournament or grappling. And in my opinion, I feel like he
didn't check the oil enough. That's the problem you had. There wasn't enough action in the grappling for him.
Well, he had Tony's arm in that arm bar. Everyone's got the memes, the pictures. You've all seen where it's at. By the end of the first round, Tony was working with one arm, and he couldn't finish him. He couldn't cut him.
I'm with you on that.
He held position for 15 minutes. That's what he did. He held his position for 15 minutes. If we were doing jiu-jitsu, he wasn't scoring that much. He wasn't getting that many transitions, that many reversals. He wasn't mounting too often. He didn't score that many points in 3 rounds in a jiu-jitsu style match, let alone UFC. Now, he won the fight hands down. I see the 10-8s. I'm not arguing that. It was terrible to watch. It's one of my least favorite fights I've ever watched.
What do you think it's a reflection of? Do you think it's a reflection of Tony's toughness, the lack of killer instinct from Oliveira? What do you think you learned the most from that fight?
I think it's a combination of them both. I think obviously it shows the grappling skill of Oliveira for sure. He's talented on the ground. But if you know, to a guy like Tony who's a black belt himself, couldn't advance, couldn't get out of those positions. But it also shows that obviously the toughness of Tony, that arm bar, basically had his arm wrapped around backwards, like his elbow was popped up from the top, and he didn't tap out. But he had one arm the rest of it. And you have a guy like Oliveira, you're trying to make a name for yourself. You're trying to knock out a legend, basically knock off a legend, and you can't finish a guy with one arm in 2 rounds. You can't even cut a guy with one arm in 2 rounds. Tony didn't he had a fight. You probably get an X-ray or an MRI, you can see he had a fight going on. But if you look at Tony after fight, he looked like he didn't have a fight. Because there wasn't a fight. It was a grappling match. It's like watching jiu-jitsu sparring. That's what I felt like I was watching. And I wanted to see a brawl. A Tony Ferguson fight I wanted to see. And I didn't see a Tony Ferguson
I think that's
fight.
The thing, that expectation.
Yeah, for sure. And
Oliveira took it from you.
There's only been one fight in my life. I've watched tons, hundreds, maybe even thousands of MMA fights that let me down more than this, and it was that Lewis and Ngannou fight. Because you thought there were going to be fireworks, the 2 biggest, heaviest hitters in the sport in there, and there's less than, 30 strikes thrown in the home fight? This was a dud. I think there was less than, somehow they magically said there were 60 significant strikes landed. I didn't see them. They must not be that significsignificant. There was great positional sparring.
Y'all know Mike likes to snooze off on the couch. Gets past 10 o'clock.
I saw I was the one tweeting in this nonsense. So,
look, but I mean, isn't that? Do you think that's Oliveira's game plan going into this fight? Going like, we know Ferguson throws bombs with the Gaethje fight. Like, you don't want to stand in front of that guy and throw bombs. You want to take him down and neutralize.
I think the biggest thing
right?
is that Mike brings up a very good point. Like, you pretty much took the guy's arm. You didn't take his soul, but you took his arm in round 1, and you couldn't finish him.
You can't take a Kui's soul.
Yeah.
But here's what I think happened. I think Oliveira knew he's going to try to get the grappling edge. Everyone knew he had the grappling edge in that because there's a reason Tony didn't do it that much because he either doesn't like doing it, he wants to stand there and bang. It's just not really his go-to, right? That's not his his favorite type of style. But I think when I was talking to him off air early in the fight, like Oliveira kind of rocked Tony a little bit, hit him with a punch, and Tony kind of pressed against the cage, and he came crazy with a spinning elbow, and it caught Oliveira on the face. And at that point forward, Oliveira's like, I don't want no part of this for the rest of it. I'm putting this down on the ground. I'm going to ride my whole position. I'm going to ride this out, which in the sports sense makes sense, right? It's a sound strategy. Like I said, he won without there's no debate in there. I'm not even debating 10-8. It's like, yeah, they were 10-8 rounds because there was no offense from Tony whatsoever. But it's not something you want to watch. This is terrible television. Terrible.
He's gone too far, ladies and gentlemen.
It was terrible. It was awful.
Somebody get the rod. We got to reel this guy back in.
I wish we were live streaming as I was watching it. I was much more fired up last night. But
yeah,
I was telling Tony, if I'm Dana White, I'm keeping Oliveira away from that title as much as I can. I'm feeding him dogs and killers and fighters, hoping that one of them knocks him off so I don't have to put that guy in a headline. I don't have to try to sell a pay-per-view with that guy because after watching that fight, no one's going to buy a pay-per-view that Charles Oliveira's on. It's like GSP, but less charismatic.
A little bit more jits.
Yeah.
A little bit more jujitsu.
Well, I'm just talking about the entertainment value. 0%. But a dominant performance nonetheless. It was dominant. I'm not arguing that point.
So what's the next step for Oliveira?
Me, personally, if I'm booking, I'm putting him against Dan Hooker and hoping Dan Hooker kicks his fucking head off. That's what I want to do.
I think you'll see them give him Dan Hooker.
And then if he wins that fight, I'm giving him the loser, of which I think is going to be Chandler and Gaethje. And if he loses that fight, I'm going to see who else I can give him to. Anybody I can give him without giving him a title fight because I don't want to put that guy in a headline. I don't think Dana's probably disagreeing with me too much either.
Well, it says here Oliveira is, 7? And you think you put him against?
Well, he's got to jump up to probably 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, especially if he beats Ferguson, who's ranked 3, I mean, that means Ferguson's going down.
And let's say Poirier and McGregor, whichever one I put, that's probably 1 and 2.
What's Dos Anjos doing? He just came off a win. Why not match up him in the Bronx?
Well,
Hooker's free. Hooker's free.
Hooker was looking for a fight. Hooker wanted Chandler really bad. So Dos Anjos was looking for a fight against Khabib. That's what he really wanted, which would be great. But
maybe we see Oliveira and Gaethje.
That too. That's what I think the next fight's gonna be Gaethje and Chandler. Michael Chandler said he'll fight one of 3 people.
I wouldn't mind Hooker and Chandler.
Chandler says he's not doing it.
Well, I mean, is it going to be whoever Conor Poirier is probably going to fight Gaethje, right?
Right. Well, yeah, because Chandler said he came in with 4 people. Khabib's gone, right? The other 3 were Gaethje, Poirier, or McGregor, or Gaethje, Ferguson, or McGregor, right? So you got Conor and Poirier are fighting. So if Poirier does knock off Conor, he's probably going to want to fight that guy, the person who wins that fight, right? Whoever wins that fight, that's probably who Chandler wants to fight. Or the only one that's available to fight right now is Justin Gaethje, who didn't take much damage in that Khabib fight. I don't know. Whitman's always on ESPN now. Is he training him anymore? I don't know what's going on with that.
He's narrating.
He's the narrator in the UFC the fights. But Gaethje's not doing anything right now, so it just makes perfect sense that Gaethje's going to be that fight for Chandler. And that's a fight that they're going to want to put together anyway because they both are the same. We're going to throw some fireworks. We're going to go, and we're both wrestlers, but we don't like to do it. And I think that's the next fight that's going to happen. And then the winner of that fight will face the winner of Conor and Dustin for the heavyweight title.
So now the hard question is, what's next for Tony?
Dos Anjos.
See, that's a strange.
What about what's Felder doing? What's Felder doing?
That's probably something you could look at. Maybe Dariush. Dariush has been hot. He's fighting somebody soon. Who's Dariush?
Dariush is fighting. Can't pin it. Ferreira, I think.
So
Ferreira.
Whoever wins that fight might be a good matchup for Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, I think you got.
And if Tony loses that fight, it might be time
Ferreira.
to hang up the gloves. Yeah. Because you're keep stepping down. But because Dariush has been hot, and he's the type of guy you could put on a headline too.
Yeah, he'll be going up against Ferreira. I think Diego Ferreira.
So whoever wins that one, I think, could be a great matchup for Tony.
Well, so then we get back into the rest of this card here?
Yeah, we already knocked off that fight. We covered that fight.
There wasn't much to talk about anyway.
We just had to let Mike relax a little bit.
He
had to unload that.
The only thing we learned in that fight is the elasticity in Tony Ferguson's elbow.
Yeah. Can't have him going an hour and 50 minutes with heavy shoulders. Come on.
But the main event the talk of the night, fight of the night, one of the best fights of the year. They gave Joanna and Weili a run for their money last night. It was awesome. Again, good palate cleanser after that atrocity beforehand. This is what a fight's supposed to be.
Yeah. Man, Brandon Moreno, tough as hell. I mean, nobody's denying
both of
that.
them.
The assassin, baby. Yeah, Deuce de Guerra as well. Like, obviously it's came out that Deuce de Guerra was struggling with some stomach issues, things like that. What he said in the post-fight interview. But I really didn't see, like...
sushi?
Yeah. He came out there like he always does. Moreno just ate it. Moreno was just game. Like, that first round...
are pretty equal to each other, Like,
this really shows the draw of it. You can argue maybe Figueiredo's hits were landing a little bit harder. His strikes were hitting.
Moreno was lighting up the right side of
this is
Figgy's body with those left hooks, those left kicks. Like, he was doing beautiful.
Especially after the strike of the night.
Oh, he punted his balls into his throat.
That roundhouse into the baby maker.
And it kind of looked like he did it on purpose. He's like, I need a break.
Either that or his legs were so damn heavy he couldn't get up yet higher. But that was flat.
Like you think that who was the ref? Herzog had to have seen that as being intentional. Why take the point right off the bat, right?
Well, in the post conference, Dana White had talked to the ref, and he had said this was like the third instance in the fight that Figueiredo had done something wrong.
Okay,
so he felt like
it was an accumulation because I know that
Right.
Figgy was using his hands in the face, like to push, like to you frame off the head when somebody's trying to pass your guard or whatever, and he was putting his fingers in his eyes.
Well, not only that, even if I think that was like the first mistake he made or whatever you want to call it, the impact that was fight changing type.
Yeah.
Strike.
Dude, he literally tried to
that was a full
punt.
flush kick right to the dick.
Yeah,
and that changes lives. I joked around on Twitter. Can you imagine the nut shot farts?
Yeah.
We all know anyone who has a pair down there knows what it's like. You get that shot, you get that weird
it
gas.
activated the gag reflex. He was about to throw up in the octagon.
Yeah, he was looking like he was going to throw up in that ring too.
But
he's choking on his own balls. I mean,
that might have hit a switch too, because after that, the babyface assassin came through and he pretty much won the rest of that fight.
Yeah,
it was like a wake up call.
I definitely think it's the second best fight of the year. I just think what Weili and Joanna did for the women's,
no, absolutely,
women's MMA, that's what makes me keep it above this fight. But this was the best fight in flyweight history, one of the best male fights I've ever seen.
It's great also, but in the same argument you're making for the women's, this division was a talk about being cut, being gone. Nobody wants to watch it. No one's going to buy a flyweight fight. Next thing you know, it's headlining back-to-back pay-per-views and closing out the last pay-per-view of the year with possibly the fight of the year. If you want to say it's a 1-1A type situation with the Weili and Joanna fight, I'm totally for that because there's good parts in it on both sides. But this is just outstanding, especially the underdog level. Weili and Joanna, they're both they were neck and neck. We knew that fight going in. These two were going to come in, and Joanna was the longtime champion, Weili the new king, and they're sitting there. They're going back and forth throwing. We knew that was going to be a tight fight. This, we knew Moreno had a better chance than Perez, but we had no idea he was going to do this.
Yeah, it just makes me go back to question why did they seek out Perez over Moreno? Was it something with Moreno's I don't want to be rushed into this? Because you would think any rational, logical mind that watches this knows that Moreno deserved that shot first over Perez. Yeah. But something had it to where Perez jumped up. Was he just...
I mean, that could totally come down to just simply Moreno really wanted to face Royval.
Yeah.
They fun a fun fight. He seems like a guy, he just loves to fight. He seemed happy all 5 rounds.
Dude, yeah.
He had a smile on his face.
You watch the embedded episodes coming up to this?
He's such a good mood at all times.
He's such a likable guy.
And Royval's kind of the same way. They have that same kind of that bubbly personality. So maybe I want to fight Royval, and I'm in this fight. I'm training for this fight. I'll see you next month.
Yeah. I mean, I think where they go from here, you make the rematch.
Or maybe... foresight Dana seeing he knew Aljo and Jan was off, Amanda and Anderson was off. He might have said, okay, I'm going to save this. I think I think that Davidson's going to beat Perez, and whoever wins that Royval Moreno fight, I can run it right back.
Mm-hmm.
And he I think he might have had that planned out, so I can get this one out of the way. And then give these guys so they both have the same amount of time to train.
Yeah, but there was no dull moments in that fight.
No, it's from start.
I mean,
to finish.
even when you're sitting out a vicious nut shot, you're like, is he gonna throw up? Right. Is he not gonna fucking throw up? There's always something that had you on the edge of your seat.
There was two fights tonight that if I was trying to sell MMA to somebody that I'd put on, I thought one of them would be Ferguson and Oliveira. Did not happen. Did not happen at all. But it was this fight, and earlier in the prelims, we'll talk about it with Billy Q and Gavin Tucker. That was a really good one.
The Governor.
And we'll get into all those fights as we go through. But yeah,
Yeah.
this was an outstanding fight.
Yeah.
And I think the only future for Ethan is to run it back.
Yeah, I mean, unless you've been living under a rock, you've seen all the news articles and everybody's talking about this.
Yeah.
We have nothing to say other than what
I
everybody's
mean,
already
it was a draw. It was hard to call even without the point deduction.
Yeah.
It was tough to call. Maybe Figgy had that.
I mean, I'd
had
have it
advantage.
48-47 without the point deduction Figgy, but
It's tight. It's tight either way you look at it. Run it back. Even if Figgy would have won it by decision still, I still probably would have ran it back because I don't think there's anybody else in that division ready like Moreno to show that he was. It was awesome. Great fight. Great way to end the night, especially, again, these cards running a little long in the tooth. So by the end of the night, you need something like this to keep you awake to make it through all 5.
that's for sure. Yeah, let's take it to Dern and Jandiroba.
Battle of Brazil.
Yeah, we were both on Verna for this fight.
Yeah, well, we both were high on Brenna for her physicality and her striking. And we kind of touched on the preview that, like, you know, Moderna was a good technical striker. Like, she's sharp, but we didn't know she could bring that power.
She's improved a lot. Very athletic, very powerful. Yeah, you saw it, like, the sting on her shots. You felt them more than
and not only that, like, so, like, for those of you that don't know, we did talk about it. We'll bring it again. Like, Mackenzie Dern is like one of the top jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world. Like, not just, you know, like a good one, not just a black belt. And when you practice jiu-jitsu, there's black belts and then there's black belts. There's different levels to it. And she is one of the top in the world. She's beaten the best people in jiu-jitsu. But a lot of times, jiu-jitsu practitioners do not like getting hit. Like, they're awesome, you know, they're grappling, they'll beat you, but the minute they start getting hit, they kind of wither away. It's not because in jiu-jitsu there's no striking. You don't take that. She was eating everything that Jandiroba was giving her and coming forward still.
Yeah, but I mean, I had her, like, even she was making Jandiroba miss a lot. And Mackenzie, you could just feel it when she hit her. Like, in that first round, that's what I can clearly remember from this fight, as I was just impressed with Dern's, the way she's improved in her striking and
bigger.
The heat on her punches. Like, I was like, damn.
Yeah. You would never guess that she was a, you know, ADCC, black belt.
And a lot of people were saying Jandiroba took it, but I think Dern won the first round. Jandiroba clearly won the second round, and then Mackenzie won the third round.
And that's how I looked at it exactly the same way too. It was a great fight. Really surprisingly good fight. I didn't think it would be that entertaining, honestly.
It was a great fight.
Right. And it's kind of how it turns out sometimes. You'll see two great, because Jandiroba's a great grappler herself too. A lot of times in those fights, it stays off the ground a lot because neither one wants to go to the ground with the other one because they know they're trying to stay out of that guard. They're trying to stay out of that game. So it ends up staying on the feet, and you see a striking match like you did. That happens a lot.
Great fight.
It was a great fight, yeah.
Oh.
Dern.
Here is my moment of the night.
This is a legend star-making performance, right?
The pendulum right hook off his back. Yo, wipe that booger off your face. Oh, I'll get it for you. Clack.
While he's talking, telling Jacare, a legend, how he dreamt about this moment, he comes out, the pendulum hook. You know, they got to put that in the video game. They have to put that in UFC. Update fighters, update that strike into it. Amazing. He's always, he's kind of got this momentum, Kevin Holland, all year long with MMA fans.
Big mouth.
Last night kind of going to put him on that worldwide map. I think he might have locked down 5 wins this year, 5-0 fighter of the year.
He's fighter of the year.
With the knockout of the year. On the same moment. I think both might have happened. Ironically, he's in competition with a guy who we knocked out earlier this year with Buckley with that crazy reverse kick. But if you just put the stakes involved in it, pay-per-view against a legend, in the middle of a grappling exchange to knock somebody out, I don't think there's been a knockout better than that all year. There might be better looking ones. I mean,
people just look at like the setup to that punch. Like, you do the pendulum sweep from guard. You scissor your legs. Scissored his legs to gain the momentum, come up, and hit him with that right hook. After he tells him to get the booger off.
The core strength to be able to pop somebody hard enough to knock them out from your back. Like, back strikes are meant to like kind of create separation, to break a lock, to give you a chance to transition. Like, to knock somebody out cold with a hook from your back is outstanding. It's amazing.
And to be a grandfather as well.
Yeah. At 28.
I mean, you're going back to him saying, Buckley's his son. He's happy. Buckley's doing great.
And lost in all that is before that happened, he was beating Jacare in the grappling exchanges.
Yeah.
Jacare's top 10
threatened
MMA
him with triangles
of all time. Kevin Holland, again, is a black belt. Well, we wanted to see what level black belt is he, right? There's levels to everything. And when he went down in there, you did not know that Jacare was the veteran and he was the young fighter in there. He looked just comfortable. It looked like they've been doing it for years.
Easily my favorite performance of the night.
Absolutely.
Kevin Holland, without a doubt.
And I am, on this podcast, kind of bad for business, whatever, I am promoting and I am campaigning that Kevin Holland and Derek Lewis have a podcast. They need to figure it out. They need to work out how that works. I need to hear these guys talk about fighting, about life. I'm pretty sure they have a pretty cool diet. Whatever they're talking about, I need that to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Kevin Holland did not disappoint.
No, and he called out Hamza.
Chimaev. Make it happen.
Let's see it.
I don't think Chimaev wants to smoke at 85 though.
And it's big. Those are a lot bigger guys up there at that size. I don't think he'll back down. Chimaev, he does train with Latifi. He does train with Gustafsson, so he's not shy. He's not shy to big guys. Camp stories are hard to fully believe, but what they say is he handles Gustafsson in training. Like it's not. That's why
Gustafsson's been handled lately too, though. So
it's still a big boy.
It's still a big boy.
And in training, Gustafsson's probably walking around 240, 250 too. He's not walking around at that 205. He's a big guy. So
hell yeah, Kevin Holland
the
gets it
size
done.
won't be a problem, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the Trailblazer.
Yeah, great, another great moment in the fight.
Do we think that Jacare might be one of these 60 cuts at the end of the year?
That's quite the possibility. I think one was earlier on the card for sure. Jacare said he's not worried about it. He said, "I'm not Yoel Romero. I'm not in the same situation." I think
he is.
He fought before this?
Was it to Hermanson?
Was that his last one? I know he fought recently. When was that though?
I can't remember.
Pull it up.
Pull it up.
Let's see.
I know he lost that 5-round
that bitch.
battle to Hermanson.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The way Jacare was talking, it just seemed like he didn't really plan on fighting that much more. The way he was talking afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in that type of situation.
Well, the thing is he went out there. He went for the game plan that he knew he had to. He shot the takedowns, but Kevin Holland impressed off his back, like his grappling game. He's throwing up triangles, threatening from the start.
I mean, at 40,
elbowing him in the head, hammer fisting him.
At 41, last episode's theme was COVID. This one, Father Time.
Yeah.
Father Time showing to be quite the opponent for everybody.
Jan Blachowicz. Split decision.
2019, November, over a year ago.
Yeah.
So he's pumping out 1 to 2 fights a year at 41 years old. I think that might have been his last time you see him in the cage.
I think you're going to see him.
I don't see him going to come back in December 2021 and fight who? For what?
I mean, a lot of his big losses recently, the Gastelum, Whitaker, Romero, he's not going to avenge those.
He did beat Derek Brunson. When was that? In 2017. Yeah, that's still 3 years at that age is a long time.
Was the Brunson fight.
Yeah, 3 years.
Basically 2017.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
All right. So that might be the end of the road for him.
He's on the chopping block.
Yeah,
does Bellator pick him up?
They're not in that business, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, Bellator, I don't see doing it either. What's he gonna do there? Who are you gonna match him up with?
I think they're tired of getting shitted on, because this is what people do.
But even in the, what's he fighting at middleweight? So would it be Mousasi?
Mousasi is the champ over there, yeah.
I mean, that's maybe the only fight you go there for one fight, Mousasi, but
Mousasi will smoke him.
Yeah, and what's the? It's not gonna. And Bellator's in a nice situation too, where they don't have to sell pay-per-view, so they can really try to develop these guys. We were watching the other night. Bellator has some really good fighters in there, but a lot of these people are still in developmental phases, which is kind of a nice, niche to have in the market. You have these younger guys, earlier in the record, developing themselves as pros. Where I think we'll talk about earlier, Chase Hooper should be right now, but they don't have to worry about selling pay-per-views. They have this cable deal. They just put these guys out there. So bringing in names is not that big a deal unless they really think they're going to be factors in the division. So I don't see Bellator getting Jacare.
Well, let's move on to the next fight here.
Oh, we had some fun with this one too.
Talk about being on islands.
Yeah. I was on an island on my own with this one.
Well, now. I was wrong about my selection for you. You did pick Gane to win it. I
picked Gane to win.
I knew this was going to be a slugfest, and I knew heavyweight MMA. I showed the numbers to Tony. He was almost 80% of the time does not go the distance. Majority of the time, and you put these 2 fighters in there, it wasn't.
No, you said 11 out of 10. 110%. This wasn't going the distance.
I was right.
You're right. But I salt and peppered my crow, and I'm eating it now.
One was my bro math, the 110%. I'm gonna piss farther than you can piss. Yeah. And then I showed you the actual math, which is still pretty much in my favor.
Yeah, I thought this fight was gonna surprise people and go the decision. I mean, it was looking good, there for a bit. It was playing out how I thought it was gonna play out. JDS putting on a little pressure, winging big punches, hitting nothing but air. Cyril Gane hitting him with some kicks, peppering him up off the back foot. Looking good. There was a few clinch actions. Then you get to the second round. Gane starts to open up, teeing off. Well, JDS hit him with some big shots at the end of the first there, but then we got the big drama show of this fight is elbow to the back of the head. But JDS, that's what you get for turning around.
But it was more to the side. It wasn't like a clear cut back to the head. It was questionable.
JDS has to blame himself. He was that fight was on. It's about to be over. He rocked him before that.
JDS played his role perfect though. He is the gatekeeper, right? That is what he's the heavyweight gatekeeper. He could still hang in there with the best guys. He maybe can't beat him anymore, but he can still hang in there.
Yeah, but you got to change the locks to the gate when you get finished 4 times in a row. It's like, wait, man, maybe this gate needs to be replaced.
You got to think though, like Curtis Blades, he's not gatekeeping for Curtis Blades. He's not gatekeeping for Francis Ngannou. He was fighting for the title at that point. Those were shots to try to go up there. Now he's coming down. He's fighting people below him.
Rosenstruck lays him out. Gane lays him out. If he gets knocked out again, he's getting cut.
No.
Or he should quit.
No. We had to talk to
that'll be 5 in a row.
It's heavyweight MMA.
He's pushing. What is he? How old is he? What did you tell
35.
me? 35.
That's not even close to being done in heavyweight. There's
there's a lot of good prospects coming up though.
And he needs to lose to them. That's what
he will.
That's what he needs to do. Like he's done as far as I'm ever going to be top 5. I'm ever going to go for a title shot again. Any of that he's done. But there's not that many good heavyweights out there. That's why Arlovski's still getting fights. They're not that many. We're like Bigfoot. There's not many of us left. That's why it's hard to find us. So he's gonna hang around. He's gonna push guys like Gane. He made Gane have to step up his game.
Yeah.
Like Gane was trying to dance around on the outside, and I'm gonna piece this guy up, and then Sagano, who's been there with everybody, got up on him, touched him up a little bit. He felt him and made him raise his game, and that's exactly what his job's gonna be. So a guy like Greg Hardy or Aspinall or Dawkins. That's the guy they need to go. Are you ready to go to the next level to fight the next level type of guys? And that's what he's going to do, the gatekeep job for sure. Again, his last 3 losses weren't gatekeeper roles. That was him still trying to compete with the best fighters. It's a whole different role for him now. I think he's got at least 2 more fights, if not 3. At least 2.
Generous mood today.
No.
Now that you got that Olivier Ferguson stuff off the chest.
It's just that, like I said,
it's that proper 12.
Andre Arlovski is still fighting.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of heavyweights,
but he's winning. He just won.
He lost before though too.
He's like alternating. He's
up and down.
Where did we see Gane going? Did we touch on that yet?
Now it's time for. It's
time for a test.
That's the top 7 guys. So maybe I was talking Rosenstruck, maybe a type of guy to maybe fight. Although Rosenstruck was ranked below.
Yeah, up here.
Was he ranked below Junior Dos Santos?
He's above.
Yeah, I think either Jair Rosenstruck or Alistair Overeem. Maybe even Volkov, if you don't want to give him that big of a jump. I honestly, being 100% clear, I don't know who Shamil Abdurakhimov is.
But Augusto Sakai?
He just beat number 7, though. So I think now he's at 6.
I see an Overeem fight. I could see that.
I could see a Volkov or Overeem.
Overeem's tied up with Volkov. Yeah, those two are fighting. So
the winner of that fight, I think he gives Cyril Gane too.
But
or if you want to have some fun with Cyril Gane, give him Greg Hardy.
Walt Harris want to still fight, or does he want to work the table?
That one's not going to be a fun fight to watch. It's going to be over quick. If you just want to give him a win, I wouldn't give him even off because that's going to be the ugly fight. I don't know who Abdurakhimov is. I don't think I've ever seen that guy fight. He's in the top 10.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what my argument about heavyweight MMA. There's not many of them out there, so that's why Junior doesn't have a job for a little bit.
All right, let's. What do we got?
BJ Penn had 7 straight losses.
Yeah.
The only reason he got cut is he got in a bar fight and lost. He lost that one too. So 8 straight losses.
That's what's being able to jump out of a 4-foot deep pool can do.
No,
for
I think this fight here was for your roster spot.
Yeah.
2 guys a little bit longer tooth. Pineda was out for a while, came back and had a shock victory over the summer.
Yeah.
Came in there. Cub Swanson, obviously a legend, goes back to WEC days, great fighter, coming off a big knee injury. Both these guys a little bit up there in the ears. I feel like they were fighting for their job.
Yeah, and I think Cub came out with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. I think this is essentially was a step down for Cub, and then to be disrespected as the underdog in this fight. The first round was a great round. That second round,
that right hand was
fucking Cub being vintage Cub.
Was lightning. Pineda was a much bigger fighter too. That's one thing I noticed when he first started. The thickness of him, his legs were gigantic.
And even at the weigh-ins, you could see the size difference. Cub came in lean, shredded, but Pineda was thicker for sure.
Cub Swanson's real interesting at 155 right now.
Yeah.
Like to go in there. I mean, it was a good first, good even battle first round. Could have went either way. That second round, Cub came out and just knocked him out cold and really said, the old men are here to stay. He's the one that beat Father Time. Father Time's 3-1, 3-1 on Saturday night, and he got like the most polite call out ever. He called the lightweight division the nicest way ever during an interview with Rogan. I'm not really sure who to throw him up against.
I don't know. I don't really know what to do with Cub.
Maybe we'll talk a little bit more in the next fight a little bit. Rafael Fiziev might be a nice fight for Cub Swanson coming.
Maybe you could throw him up to the winner. Or no, because they're fighting. That's 145, so that's not a possibility.
What are they at?
Lightweight.
I went too far.
Featherweight. That was a featherweight fight, was it not?
Pineda
and Swanson.
No,
they're not.
Was it feather?
It was feather.
Well, I don't think either one of them's ranked, so you're not going to see them.
No, but we don't know where we.
Well, Burgos is fighting next week too.
Yeah. No, those guys aren't cracking the top 15 yet.
Maybe a Bryce Mitchell or Edson Barboza. A nice fight.
Barboza, I like.
But Mitchell needs a scalp too.
Yeah.
Give him a big name scalp. He beat Feely, but I mean, again, Feely is kind of the.
Give him Feely. That'll be a banger. Swanson and Feely.
Would you rather? What if Feely ends up winning though?
Well, then that's that.
But but you got Cub Swanson coming off 2 wins, a big name, been around since the WEC
They're
days.
both entertaining fighters.
But wouldn't you want to give a guy like Mitchell a name that he beat? He said Bryce Mitchell doesn't beat in a name.
Oh, we're talking Bryce Mitchell. I thought we were talking. What are we doing with Swanson?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
you want to give Swanson and Mitchell?
I would give Swanson and Mitchell. So Mitchell can get a name that he's beaten. Or if Cub beats Bryce Mitchell, Cub's a problem.
That's a tough out. I don't think Cub's ever been submitted.
Right.
That's Mitchell's.
Crone couldn't get him down.
Yeah.
We saw he did Crone Gracie. I think that's where I would go at Cub Swanson.
The only time I think he's been finished was Aldo, right? From that knee in the WEC days.
WEC.
That flash knee.
WEC days. That's how long he's been
the
around.
The fucking blue cage. Hey, you saw the UFC was asking, hey, do you guys want us to do like a throwback theme?
That'd be kind of cool.
They're trying to take a poll. Like we'll have like a.
How would they fight in a ring and do a Pride theme?
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
15-minute rounds.
How about Pride rules? Yeah.
This is another awesome knockout. These back-to-back highlight knockouts.
So while we're here,
Add the man.
Touching on my whiskey and wagers, that was my dog of the night right here, getting starched in round 1, choosing to stand and take his chances with Adaman from the Matrix, Rafael Fiziev.
I am all about Rafael Fiziev. I was locked him in. I had him in my parlay. This guy does not throw anything soft. He does not throw anything looping. Everything sharp, laser. It's like a laser pointed bomb.
Yeah.
The way he throws stuff.
He's checking all the boxes. Precision, power, speed, technique. He's getting Connor's gears going.
I want to see what happens if somebody gets him down.
I mean, it's gonna happen.
But I'm saying that's I think it's the next challenge.
And this is where I thought it was gonna happen.
Moy kind of looked like he had no interest in going to the ground with him for some reason.
He had moments of success there, and I think he got a little overconfident. And he's back at 155. He's not at 145 where he struggled. Maybe he thought his chin would hold up a little bit better, but you're looking at a killer across the ring. Like, this guy's a striking coach for Tiger Muay Thai in Phuket. Yeah. Like, he's coaching Valentina Shevchenko's. He's coaching everybody that fights out of that camp.
Like, if you look at the combination of the sharpness and the power in his, you don't see that at the heavyweights, obviously, but like to beat that small and create that much power in that little space is insane.
This would have been a good thing, a good place for Moicano to use his well-rounded MMA game. And like, you did not learn anything from the DKC fight.
There was, though, in Moicano's favor, a touchy finish. Was he out?
Dude, he was done.
I think eventually that finish happens, but he was kind of defending himself still.
I think but I think he would have took.
We've seen Congo and Pat Barry. We've seen some crazy shit happen. Yeah. In fights. If you're still, especially you're a fighter, you're in that cage. If I feel like I still had a shot, he wasn't like out. He wasn't like Souza out. Yeah, Souza couldn't sit down afterwards. Yeah. Souza was falling off his bench.
He was going out again.
Yeah, Souza kept going out and out. He was I can get why Moicano's a little bit frustrated from that stoppage, but Fiziev was probably gonna.
Yeah. Again, I still want to see Fiziev with a little bit stiffer of a challenge before I'm too sure just yet.
I want to see him against somebody that wants to go to the ground. Yeah. The last fight was featherweight, right?
This is lightweight.
No, I'm saying the next one. I said Gavin Tucker would be a nice challenge.
Yeah. No, this is featherweight.
Yeah.
So moving on. This was my second favorite fight of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of knew it too. Billy Q kind of reminds me of Tony, and you had the grappler Gavin Tucker, this is kind of what I thought I was going to see in the Tony and Charles Oliveira fight.
But
This is what I thought I was going to get out of it. The awkward, crazy striker in Billy Q, and Gavin Tucker, the more technical, sharp, great grappler, and this is exactly what we got.
Yeah, I think Billy Q's strength didn't show up tonight. The cardio for Tucker held up.
Yeah.
The Governor's his cardio held up. His ground game improved. Like he was taking Billy Q down at will. He dictated where the fight.
I wouldn't
went.
say it didn't show up. I just think he just lost. Like I think
Yeah, but
Tucker was his game.
Yeah, Tucker usually fades a little bit. And I think where Billy Q kicks in a second, third round, like he just keeps going and going and going. But so did Tucker, and Tucker was obviously technically more superior than Billy Q. Like he just looked like a complete fighter.
And his lack of technical skill is basically what's Billy Q's strength. He throws weird things you can't train for. You can't where's this coming from? Yeah. And his weird awkward way he rocks around. He looks like he's out on his feet the whole fight. He's got that great that gunslinger mustache.
Yeah.
It was an awesome, fun fight. My second favorite fight of the night was my fight of the night until the main event.
I'd say it's my third favorite performance of the night from Gavin Tucker.
Yeah,
I'm going Kevin Holland, I'm going Moreno, and then I'm Tucker. Performances,
I love to argue with you, but I'm not going to argue with that for sure. Gavin Tucker, like I said, his gas tank really shocked me in this one. He carries a lot of muscle. He's big for the 155. Barely big for that 145.
Oh, he's jacked. Yeah, he's huge.
So going forward for Gavin Tucker, pretty much the world is like
It's the meanest looking Canadian I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I know they have many tattoos.
Pissed in his syrup or something. You steal a syrup?
What
Bring
do you
it
think
back.
of a Gavin Tucker Ilya Tapura matchup?
Oh.
What do you think about that?
The Stan Marsh gif?
Yeah.
That's what I think about that.
I thought they were talking about the one with the giant balls.
Yeah. That one too. Oh, I think that would be a great fight.
I think that's where we go. That Billy Q still got a lot of potential too. Coming out of the Dana White Contender Series, again, he has a style that is unlike anybody you ever seen. Just look at highlights of Billy Q. It's the way he looks like he's unconscious while he's fighting somehow. I don't know how he pulls that off. It was a fun fight to watch, though, for sure.
All right, let's move on to Tisha Torres.
Tisha Torres fighting last-minute replacement Sam Hughes, who decided she didn't want to fight anymore.
Yeah, before she gets finished, they're talking about she just took a finance job. I don't know where it was at in D.C. So, she got the call up. They needed a body. They needed a warm body.
Yeah.
But let's not, this is what me and you were talking about this. I'm like, sneaky prop.
Right.
Tisha Torres is going to finish this fight.
Right. I did not pull the trigger on it. We both talked about it. We thought it would be awesome. We thought, the likelihood, it's a last-second replacement. I did have Tisha in my my parlay. I knew she was going to win the fight. And then it ended up having TKO, second round, eye injury to Hughes, and she said she couldn't see no more.
Yeah. She came out there. She threw everything. Like, anything you wanted from that first round, you got it from Tisha Torres. You got flashy strikes. You got takedowns. You got speed, precision. I mean, she looked great.
That's kind of a bummer for her because she was sharp as hell. She was looking tight. She was looking like she was ready for Angela Hill. Yeah. Like she was training for Angela Hill fight, and she was ready for that fight. And now with Tisha Torres, she'll take a short second, last second replacement. She'll take anybody. This girl had Weili Zhang rocked. So a couple of times she had her against the fence. It was a tight match. Weili did end up winning that. I'm not debating the finish of that, but she was game for Weili.
None of those top elite women have finished her.
No.
It's decisioned.
No, exactly. So if we have that, whenever that Rose and Weili fight happens, give her that fight, or you want to give her Joanna, whoever. I don't know what the status is going on. Everything, everything's weird. Who's living where the travel restrictions are, all that stuff. But she's ready. She's ready for the top. Give her a shot at it.
Yeah, she looked great.
Yeah, and then I think that's it for the.
We had Columbus.
Oh yeah, we had Columbus from Zombieland.
Oh
Chase Hooper.
There we go.
All right, so
the kid.
As you all know, if you follow our whiskey and wagers, this is my lock of the night. To say I was on the edge of my seat for 2.5 rounds.
It was our tweet of the night too. According to Darren Till.
Fucking Chase Hooper, man.
Shout out to Darren Till.
Yeah, shout out to Darren Till. Oh man, so Chase
I'm
Hooper.
worried about Chase Hooper.
Out of his element on the feet. He's
Absolutely.
one step behind. It's like he doesn't know. Like he's thinking about it too much. It was hard to watch.
It's almost not fair for him to be in the UFC at his age.
Yeah,
he's good. He's what, 3-1 in the UFC?
Yeah,
roughly?
No, 2-1.
2-1
in the UFC.
He has got talent. He's got skill. He's 21 years old. He is learning on the job, and I'm worried that he's going to come across something that's going to end up taking him out and killing his potential that he does have. Because with the grappling, he is outstanding. The way he won the fight, he was losing that whole fight, and he pulled off that heel at the end with the middle of the third round. He is sharp
Yeah.
with his submissions.
He just needs one Tallahassee to come across with 45% power.
Right.
That's it.
I think his future is at 155.
He's gonna have to hit the weights, man.
He's only 21. His body hasn't fully matured yet. He's tall. He's very, very tall. Yeah. As he gets older and starts putting more muscle on his body, I don't think he's going to make 145.
Yeah.
He might even have a welter in his future. He's super tall.
Yeah,
He's
a
73 tall, whatever that means.
That's what, 6'1"?
6, yeah.
That's 6'1".
Yeah.
That's tall for 45.
Yeah.
He's a tall boy.
And he's only 21, so he's not the muscle mass.
You get towards the end of your 20s, early 30s. That's when you hit the
start
prime.
getting bigger.
Yeah.
So I think his future is going to be at least 155, if not at welterweight.
But he was out of his element the first 2.5 rounds. He was hitting some beautiful Imanari rolls, grabbing those legs.
And on the flip side, though, most of these fighters, think of your favorite MMA fighter and think about where they were fighting at 21 years old. It definitely wasn't on the biggest stage and the biggest promotion, with the top competition. Yeah. They're fighting in some alley somewhere, or gyms. They're fighting in small venues and weird rings and strange cages with walls missing. The fact that he's doing this right now in the UFC is amazing. I just wish he would have more time to develop. Honestly.
But good on him, probably comeback of the year.
Absolutely.
Slippery Pete taking it to him. 2.5 rounds.
If he fight, like we kind of saw with Caceres, Caceres was way sharper on the feet, was able to fight a takedown, a good veteran that's been there, done everything, and Hooper had no shot in that fight.
Yeah,
he couldn't get fit. Now he is tough as shit. He could take a beating and keep coming. He's got heart of a champion. His leg was eaten up in that fight from those leg kicks. He could really stand on it. So he's got heart and he's got a chin. But if he comes across one of these 145ers with some pop, he's in trouble.
You're talking about probably the most lethal division in the
UFC. Absolutely.
Lots of killers in that division. That and bantamweight,
Yeah. So if one of these guys with some heavy hands catches him, he's going to be in trouble. So I just hope for his sake
But the thing is there's not a lot of these guys are really good. The next step.
Exactly, and they're picking and choosing his opponents too. Yeah. They're definitely picking and choosing his opponents for sure. What's going to happen? I think they tried to bump him up with that Caceres fight, and he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready off. They brought him back down to bear. And most people don't get that step down.
Yeah.
So I would like to see him go away for a while. Maybe even go to a Bellator and come back when he's like 28, 29.
I mean, he's got 2 wins in the UFC, though.
But they're very, very questionable wins. Tamor is a great striker, but kind of lost on the ground. He lost to Caceres, who's an up and down, every man Jack type fighter. Not going to write home about Alex Caceres. Yeah. And then you got Peter Barrett, who is what he is. He's an ugly fighter. He can throw at the best of him. He's tough to submit, so that's props to his bike. But we know Chase Hooper's grapple game is on point. Again, once he takes that step, I want him to take that step up. He tried it with Caceres. Let's see what he does in his next fight.
Yeah, that does it for him.
Imagine if he came across Cub.
Yeah, no,
it's bad. It's a bad situation.
Well, so then let's that wraps up UFC 256. Do we want to go over our whiskey and wagers here, or how we did? I don't think anybody did too well.
I don't want to follow this guy up, so let me go first. So my lock of the night, Chase Hooper gets it done. Whew, a little nerve wracking if you played that. Unfortunately, my dog didn't come through. He was knocked out in the first round. Moicano plus 130, no return on that. My parlay didn't hit Figgy draw, and the Bronx and Tony Ferguson went over 2.5 rounds. Thought there'd be a finish in under 2.5, and then Chase Hooper was the other leg of that. So
I had a solid night. The Figgy draw. Figgy was my lock of the night. I thought for sure the way he looked, he was going to win that fight for sure. Obviously, we saw what happened. It was that split decision draw. My underdog was Junior Dos Santos and didn't come through. But when I choose my underdogs, I know they don't have that good chance to win. That's why they're called underdogs, right? They're shocking. Everyone else thinks they're going to lose. I like to go towards heavyweights because heavyweights, they hit harder. There's more consequences for the strikes, and it only takes one for a heavyweight. You only got to be lucky for 1 second when you're a heavyweight. And I have seen Junior Dos Santos, end people. I know he could do it. That didn't turn out. But again, anytime you played underdog, you're taking a risk. My parlay I laid out there, if you played that parlay, you made yourself some money last night, so hopefully you did. I had Rafael Fiziev, heads up. I also threw in Tesha Torres, because I thought there was no way somebody's going to come in on short notice and beat her. She's too good. That's not going to happen. And then I threw in for the main event, I did love Figgy, but I thought it would take him more time than in his last fights. I bet the over on 2.5 rounds, and as we know, it went to decisions. So my parlay did pay off. So if you listened to me, you took that whiskey and wager, you laid that parlay down, you made yourself some money. That's I think it's like plus 700.
Wow. 7 times your money. Yeah.
Yeah.
You cashed pretty good.
Yeah.
About 7
So
times.
you got 7 times your money if you laid that parlay down. So again, when you're playing an underdog, you are going in there. It's more likely it's going to lose.
Straight picks wasn't a great night for me. You took this event.
I was about 50-50. You know, well, it was a tough night for me in general too. Like I said, my underdog, I had JDS. I had my other I had 2 underdogs that did not, you know, they didn't bark loud enough for me between JDS and Verna Jandaroba. I thought she was going to come out and just be more physical than Mackenzie Dern, and that just did not happen at all. I had Tony Ferguson, and we already talked about how I felt about that fight, what happened in that fight. Yeah. It was a total dominance by Oliveira, but the worst fight of all time. And what else did I drop? I dropped somebody else later in the fight. But I believe I ended up being 4-5-1 with my picks on the night.
3-6-1.
Yeah, the draw at the end. I had Figgy in that last one. So
coming off 7-1, 254. You're what, 7-2 Bellator? No,
yeah,
6-2.
6-2. I lost my underdog with
killing the Bellator.
Yeah, Bellator was a fun night. 254. Don't need to go too much in depth in it, but there's a lot of things. We kind of touched on what Bellator is these days. There's some really, really good fighters, especially at the top level in Bellator. But on the lower levels, there's a lot of potential down there. But you see, there's people that's working their way up to the top. And, you know, you often have people want to argue that the level between Bellator and UFC being the same, and I don't think that's true at all. Now, if you tell me Patricky Pitbull, if you tell me, you know, Gregor Mousasi, you know, Douglas Lima, yes. But from top to bottom, not a chance.
So what about Coker saying he has the best light heavyweight division?
They're all guys that got cut from UFC. Their light heavyweight is called people cut from UFC. Now, they do have some good fighters in there, but Lyoto Machida was like on a 2-3 fight losing streak. Corey Anderson had just got knocked out cold by the champ. I mean, who's now Magomedov? He's the guy who can fight anywhere. Matthias Matos was solid too. Like those guys can fight in any organization. They'll be top level guys. But from top to bottom, if we're talking about that early preliminary fight of Chase Hooper and Peter Barrett versus what we saw in Bellator, not even close.
Hobson Gracie versus Billy Goff,
not even close. The main event was a fun fight. 2 undefeated fighters at strawweight or flyweight? At flyweight. I was telling Tony, I kind of watched it. I actually am looking up that cable channel. But Juliana Velasquez is a problem. She's a world-class judoku, right? She's the national champion in Brazil, and her stand-up is legit, like slick, powerful. She looks huge for that division. I kind of reminded me of Geranimi with her size and build, the way it looked. Going against undefeated Imole McFarland, who kind of built that division on her back, and she owned her for 5 rounds. It was never in question. Yeah. She's legit. I would love to see her and Valentina fight. I think it'd be a nice challenge for Bullet. I still would take her, but after seeing that Maya fight, there's a little bit of there's some light at the end of that tunnel when it comes to Bullet now, and I would like to see her trying to solve that puzzle of Juliana Velasquez because she has that world class judoku. She's big. She is big. Big for that size for sure. She looks like she could fight at maybe even featherweight if she really wanted to. So very, very, very good fight. Ilima-Lei McFarland, she was actually my underdog pick of the night. No, my lock of the night. I thought for sure my underdog pick was Matos. But my lock of the night, I thought for sure she's going to hold down her title, never lost. She's going to come out. And she had the heart of a champion. Like Velasquez was piecing her up. She was bloody, beaten, but she kept coming forward. But again, the size was too much. She had to lunge to try to get her punches in. Every time she shot for a takedown, Velasquez threw her off like it was like a little sister. Get off me! Like it's not going to work. But it was a great performance by Velasquez, and I think it's a name you're going to want to remember in MMA. Juliana Velasquez is top level, no matter what promotion she's fighting for.
That's all we got to say about that.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about upcoming next fight.
27 fights in the card.
27?
No, it's like 15. But it's a giant,
plus 12.
It's a giant card. I'm not going to go too in depth in all of them. Really want to focus most in the main card.
Let's run through this.
So the main event, obviously, kind of a letdown.
Yeah, when you have Chimaev and Edwards on
right, fuck. Yeah, probably the
Chechen Wolf
elimination match for the title. That's probably
Mr.
what it
Rock
was.
and Roller.
But we are getting a good fight. Now, Stephen Thompson, he's one of those karate fighters, and I always feel like once they get solved, that's it. The puzzle's over.
Man, that's the nicest motherfucker in the UFC you're
absolutely.
talking about right there.
No, I like Stephen Thompson, but I harken back to Lyoto Machida when he first came around and nobody was used to that style. He looked unbeatable.
I think this fight goes either two ways. Neal knocks him out, or Thompson decisions him, outpoints him.
Right, absolutely.
And it's a 5-round fight, and Neal's on a tear, man. He's been destroying people that have been putting in front of him.
Right, he's on fire right now.
But I think Wonder Boy's elite.
Oh, absolutely. He's main event. He's been
Mr. Wonder Bread.
He's been in those title fights. He's kicked people's heads off. But again, that karate style, it always seems once they get figured out, they never climb back up. You know, it's easy. I don't know what the reason why is, but you go back to Machida, you go back to Waterston. There's a lot of the people like that. Once somebody beats them, it seems like they start sliding back down. They never climb back up the card. So this is a big moment for Thompson. I mean, if he loses this fight, where does he go from there?
I think I'm going to be taking Stephen Thompson in this fight.
I do too, basically because I am unsure about Jeff Neal.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. He has been on a run lately, and he's powerful. Yeah. He can finish it from any angle.
Yeah, but I think what Jeff Neal brings to the table, Stephen Thompson can work around.
Plus, Stephen Thompson comes out to Tenacious D.
Yeah,
like he comes out singing Wonder Boy.
Song in the world.
Yeah, he gives out the Wonder Boy perfectly. Dancing around. He does all that publicity. I think it's a big step up for Neal. He's not ready for.
Yeah, I think he's going to get outpointed. It's going to be a striking masterclass for Stephen Thompson.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a fight I can compare it to that happened recently.
I think it looks like Vicente Luque.
Yeah, I could see that.
You're going to get kind of the same styles from Vicente Luque and Jeff Neal. He's going to come forward, heavy pressure,
I'd be so
big
much
bombs.
more excited for this fight if it wasn't 5-round main event.
Yeah,
and
I think that's another thing that plays into Wonder Boy's
absolutely.
advantage.
This is not a headlining fight. No disrespect.
You can
to
see
these
this
guys.
like Whitaker versus Cannonier in a way as well. Whitaker's got that nice little karate style, boxing style,
and that not only that,
working angles,
and not only just like the actual like breakdown of the fight. I'm more just like this guy coming up. He's the new shiny toy, and then the big brother comes and say no, it's not time yet. Because like Wonder Boy's a veteran, but he's not like old. He's not up there in age, and he's still again top 5 fighter. I don't.
I kind of have this sneaky feeling Wonder Boy is gonna come out to prove something because of all this Chimaev talk about Chimaev being like. I think his buttons have been pushed a little bit. Like he's the nicest motherfucker, but I think there's something in there. He's like, I'm gonna show y'all while Chimaev doesn't need to be fighting us at the top.
He did quarantine himself from Chimaev though. He was more afraid of Chimaev than COVID for sure. He did not want to come out for that one.
But yeah, I'm going with the Wonder Boy.
I'm definitely going Wonder Boy on this one as well. The rest of the card, again, it has some awesome fights I'm looking forward to in this.
Ooh, let's get to this next one.
The rest of the card I'm more excited for.
Two very similar.
This is one that could be the loser goes home. Jose Aldo's been fighting since I was in kindergarten.
I think it's more Aldo going home than Vera. I think Vera still has a little bit more life, but
I don't know. Vera just beat up a golden boy. You don't think that kind of pissed Dana off a little bit? like you see all that production kind of
Sugar Sean's got plenty of time to bounce back.
Yes, but you don't want...
And Vera's a fan favorite. People like Vera. I like Vera.
You don't want your gatekeepers beating your up-and-comers.
Yeah.
You want to get rid of those guys. If he loses this fight, it's a perfect example. You can't beat Aldo. What are you going to do after that?
I mean, if you don't beat Aldo at bantamweight.
Right.
And this is funny.
He's never won it at bantamweight.
I think this is a fight tailor-made for Aldo.
Absolutely. Well, that's what we thought it was for Sugar, too.
I'm not that high on Sugar yet. I need more from Sugar. Like, I just don't see the durability that these, like, Aldo's a little bit chinny, but he's going to be able to take leg kicks. He's going to be able to take some shots and things like that.
I mean, Aldo has not looked good in about 10 years.
I think Aldo wins.
He hasn't looked good since Conor.
I think he's going to look good in this fight.
When did Conor ice him?
Since Conor iced him, he has not looked good.
Been the same
Which
fight.
yesterday we watched that clip about 1 million times because it was the anniversary.
Yeah, they had like no new footage on Dustin, but they had no new footage on Dustin and Conor either. They're using all the same promotion stuff from 10 years.
He'll overcommit on the right hand. I will not be there. I'll hit him with the left hand.
Same thing all over again.
Classic Conor.
But yeah, Aldo's not look good. His best performance, he had a head kick KO recently. Against it was on a back when UFC was still on Fox. That was like his last top performance. But even his title fights, he keeps getting thrown in headlining matches.
Yeah,
I don't. I think this is loser goes home,
Yeah, I think it's going to play out on the feet. Like, I mean, where else is it going to?
and I think it's going to be Cheeto Vera.
I'm going to take Aldo. I'm going to take Jose Aldo to win this fight.
There we go. Some dissension among the ranks.
Yep. I'm going with Jose.
Like he just keeps getting title matches. Like what the fuck? Was it?
He beat Moicano.
I think the Moicano.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's Jeremy Stevens. I'm talking about the Jeremy Stevens fight. That's what I remember.
Stevens, what did he do? He
the head kick.
No,
wasn't
he
it?
liver punched him.
Then the Moicano was the head kick.
Yeah.
Like he
And he lost to Holloway.
he was keeping.
He lost twice to Holloway.
So I honestly think that Cheeto Vera is going to win this fight, and then Jose Aldo will headline against Volkanovski the next month.
I can see this fight being similar to the Moicano.
That's how Jose Aldo's career goes. He loses a fight, then he gets the headliner the next month.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Aldo here.
Good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
You're gonna have him and Charles Oliveira on your island.
All right.
This one is the one to
Oh,
circle,
man.
to highlight. This is gonna be the fight.
Fireworks, fight
I
of
don't
the
know if
night.
you call it fight of the night because it might not last very long.
I think it's the fight that I'm looking the most
Well,
forward to.
I'm most excited for this fight. Chaos Williams. His name is the most perfect name ever, and that's not a nickname. That is, why does he even need a nickname? The Ox Fighter. His nickname's worse than his real name.
Yeah.
Chaos Williams. Why do you need a nickname?
The Ox Fighter.
But against Michel Pereira, he is. If you guys ever want to Google him and see his dancing out to the cage, doing backflips in the middle of the fight, he does the most ridiculous things you've ever seen.
The Brazilian Goro,
Yeah.
minus 2 arms.
Yeah, he is. He's the most entertaining fight you're going to see. Then,
I mean, in Chaos, same thing though.
Oh yeah, though Chaos is, reminds me of I call him the poor man's Roy Jones. he has the one punch power, just knocked out Al Hassan.
Yeah.
Took the world by storm by that. Al Hassan was supposed to be
before
the one to do
that,
him.
he had even a bigger performance, knocking out who was it? That was the big one.
Yeah,
They weren't expecting him to come out. Who did he knock out?
I'll
But-
pull it up here.
but Chaos Williams comes with heat. He's bigger, but Pereira is. He definitely has a grappling edge in this.
There's his.
Yeah, there.
That ain't gonna be no grappling in this
No.
fight. I just
don't know.
don't see it.
I don't know about that.
Let's go down here. It's just showing the two.
Morono?
Yeah, knocking out Morono. Yeah,
Yeah, 27. Look at
27.
those fight times.
yeah, 27
He
seconds.
does
31
not
seconds.
get paid by the hour. He comes with heat, and he puts people to sleep. And then we're not talking about ground and pound. Like, it's walk-off knockouts. He ices everybody. He looks like he knocks you out. From South Bend, Indiana, local boy.
Yeah, there
That
you go.
Notre Dame, huh?
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
They're fighting Irish, but wait, something's
Yeah.
not adding up.
but this is the fight you want to see. I believe it's in the prelims, though, isn't it?
No, this is the main card.
That's the main
This is the
card.
main guard.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's all on ESPN Plus. It's not pay per view.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're gonna watch one fight,
Don't blink.
this whole card, this is the one you want to go ahead and make sure you're locking yourself in. It's not gonna last long.
One round in this one.
One of them's going to bed, but the build up, the walkout, Pereira's gonna be dancing around.
I'm sensing some dissension with this one, maybe.
I'm going chaos.
Oh, okay, no dissension.
I'm going chaos.
Sorry, guys.
I love Michel Pereira. He's one of my favorite guys to walk up to the cage.
Yeah.
But I just think Chaos is on a mission right now.
He's gonna leave himself hittable, and
Right.
Chaos is gonna fucking hit
Yeah.
him.
He kind of feeds into that. He
Yeah,
lets people
yeah,
hit him
yeah,
sometimes.
but you don't
too.
wanna be hit by
No,
Chaos.
This is not the guy you let do that.
Yeah, Chaos knocks him out.
Yeah,
and-
Chaos
and
within 30 seconds.
if there's an under 1.5, take it.
Yes, and I probably
As long as it's a good value.
It's probably like minus 200.
Yeah,
for that.
probably. You can parlay it.
There's only two guys that are kind of fighting for their life.
All right,
Number
Rob
3,
Font.
number 11.
Right.
Rob Font and Marlon Moraes.
Moraes is a questionable number 3 though,
Rob Font coming off a win against Ricky Simone.
and Moraes a ass kicking by Kerry Sandhagen. Like that was
Woo.
like that was one sided as it gets.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's a questionable number 3 if you ask me.
I think this is gonna be another fun fight while it lasts. I don't see this one going very long.
No, Font's gonna come for blood. Moraes, he gasses.
It ain't gonna matter in this fight.
Well, he gasses fast.
Yeah,
like,
it ain't gonna matter,
Like Moraes came out. Moraes was beating the shit out of Henry Cejudo
Yeah.
for one round. He was owning Henry Cejudo, and that was it. He couldn't hang on no
Mm-hmm.
more. So, or if you're early in the fight, Moraes is going to be an advantage at the fight. But I think he's going to get out of the first round, and then Font's going to get him in round 2.
You think Font's gonna? I think Moraes is gonna win this fight, and I can see it from two different two different ways. I think it's gonna be a firefight. I can see Moraes landing that head kick. He has that beautiful head kick. I can see Font getting rocked from maybe another strike and shooting, and Moraes locking up a guillotine. I think Moraes takes this fight. I think
This fight ends in the first round because Moraes wins.
Yeah, I think Moraes wins this fight.
Moraes last fight he lost, so
he lost to Corey Sandhagen.
Corey Sandhagen beat the shit out of him.
Spinning wheel kick.
And for the whole first round, he pieced him up too. Sandhagen owned. It was a main event. Sandhagen owned him that fight. So if Moraes loses this fight, he drops. He drops the way. He should not be number 3.
I mean, you're
Is
fighting
he ranked
number
above Sandhagen right now?
No. Sandhagen's 2. Should be.
Who's one?
One is Aljo.
Okay.
Champ is young.
I'm figuring champion's 1.
Yeah,
That's what in my head. Like, what's going on here? Yeah, Corey Sandhagen. I would put Garbrandt over him.
I think if Moraes loses this fight, what are you going to do? Give him Frankie Edgar. Jimmy Rivera and Pedro Munez got a date already.
If Moraes loses this fight, I would put him somewhere.
He's already beat Asuncao, so I mean,
I'd put him somewhere way lower than that.
Oh, we should talk about fucking
maybe Mirab. I've been trying to get Mirab. I'm trying to get you a fight. I've been trying to pair you up with
Nobody wants
everybody.
to watch that.
I've been trying to. This coming from the guy who got wet from Charles Oliveira.
Hey, Charles got him down. Charles got him down in transition. Put him in triangles. Almost ripped his arm off. Marab is just like, I take you down, but I'm not holding you.
Who was glory hole
I'm letting
by
you
Charles
get back
Oliveira.
up. You know what? I
Now I
know.
don't watch Mirab Dishvili. Dishvili. I think I said it right. There's enough whiskey you could say that word. But
What?
Marlon Moraes is on his way out, I believe, and I am going to be going with Rob Font.
No, I got Marlon Moraes in this one.
You must think it's going to end quick.
Yeah, it's gonna end quick.
I think Rob Font TKO second round. Yo, it's getting hot already in here.
No, sir.
Computer's chugging along here. Hold on one second, guys.
We got Pettis and Morono coming up next.
No, we don't. We got Hardy and Tybura.
Oh, the big boys. My tribe.
Woo! Okay, this
The
one.
heavies. We're going to be at odds in this one, too.
Yeah, this one. This is very tough, but my logical mind says Tybura wins this fight if he employs the right game plan. But there's something in my gut that tells me Hardy's going to win this fight.
I don't think there's any way Tybura stands a chance in this fight.
I can see Tybura grappling his way to a
You're not going to out-grapple.
slow, clinchy, grindy, ugly
Let
fight.
me tell you about grappling. Greg Hardy is a former All-Pro.
So now you're a grappling fan.
No. I'm going to tell you something about grappling. Greg Hardy is a former All-Pro defensive end. He's been grabbed and thrown and pushed by the biggest human beings in the world, 6'7", 300, 400-pounders on the offensive line, and he's tossed them to the side. So if Marcin Tybura tries to get a hold of him, he's going to throw him off like he's nothing. That's not going to work. Marcin Tybura's got to try to knock him out.
Yeah, that's all fine and dandy when you're feeling good in the first round, but what happens when you get tired and you get labored and you don't have your inhaler? You don't have your inhaler to puff
These
on
are
between
heavyweights. They're
rounds.
both heavyweights. All get tired. Heavyweights don't go the distance. Tybura's going to sleep. The only people that's beating Greg Hardy are those top level guys. The Ngannous, the Rosenstrikes, those strikers like that have that one punch for the Derek Lewis. Those are the guys that beat Greg Hardy, or maybe Curtis Blades.
And another reason that my gut probably tells me that I think Hardy wins this fight is because the UFC wants to push Greg Hardy.
Tybura looked labored versus Rothwell.
Yeah.
And Greg Hardy's going to push the pace. Greg Hardy's going to go try to finish this. He's working with ATT now, right? He's working with some top trainers. He's gotten better every single fight, and he is probably the best athlete in the UFC. Now, it's going to be hard to find anybody a better athlete than he is. He's going to put Tybura out quick. That's another one. Don't blink. It's over. And this is going to put Greg Hardy in the top 15.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this one. I can see it going either way.
You remember my 110% earlier, my meathead pissing contest? 110%.
Yeah, you
Greg Hardy, first round knockout.
You're forcing me to make a pick.
I'm not forced to do anything, all right? I'm just saying my
Please
pick.
hold a gun to my head because I can't do it right now.
My pick is Greg Hardy, first round TKO. It's going to be vicious. It's going to be ugly.
All right, I'm going to take the Polak decision. Polak's going to decision the Prince of War.
This is not going to decision because this guy is not lasting 3 rounds. I'll tell you that much.
Off his back, he might.
No, he's
just
not.
fighting for it.
He's gonna end up getting one of those John Vellante tired taps. Like you're not going. Always bet under 3 rounds with heavyweights.
I've seen him go to decision.
There's not many. I showed you the numbers.
This could be one.
I showed you the actual
This could be.
numbers.
This could be one.
You got a 30% chance.
Well, pretty good.
That's pretty much all you got. And anything on the preliminary you want to talk about? I mean, Pettis is kind of another guy. Really. I think Pettis is fighting for his life. Ronaldo's had that monster performance his last fight. Showtime supposedly has a new kick.
But both of these guys are towards it. You know, I mean, this is a hard one. I just don't like. I don't like
catchweight, right?
No, they're fighting 170.
What the heck's he on that 150?
I don't know, because that's where he normally fights. And I think this is both the. I don't like Pettis at 170.
I don't like Pettis that much. Pettis is
towards the end. He's better in that blue cage. Those are the best.
Pettis is here because of one moment.
Yeah.
Like that Showtime kick is why he's able to hang on. He's beating some people, but you see the way
he's beating WEC fighters while they're in the UFC too. You know, so it's like it's familiar fights. He's.
But his last fight, I don't know if this was his last fight. The last fight I remember Anthony Pettis was Nate Diaz, and he looked like he was lost.
Yeah.
And Nate had been late.
I mean, he had that
Nate
nice,
hadn't fought like in 2 years.
He had that nice one-off Superman punch to knock out Wonder Boy, but I think it was kind of fluky. But
yeah, I mean, anyone can get knocked out.
Yeah.
Like when he fought Nate Diaz, it was just an ass kicking over and over.
Yeah.
Like to me, a 3-round pounding is sometimes way more humiliating and way more telling than somebody knocking you out one shot.
I think this fight, I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be entertaining.
I mean, I also think that if Showtime loses, he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a guy that Bellator might pick up.
I think he does lose. I think Morono wins.
His brother's over there. Yeah. He's a guy, and I think Morono's going to win this fight as well.
I think Morono's going to push the pace. He's going to win this fight.
I
wouldn't be surprised if he finishes.
There's been a few times I got excited for Anthony Pettis, and he's kind of let me down in those few times. Like I've given up on thinking he's ever going to be more than the Showtime kick.
Yeah, he had a decent performance against Ferguson.
I mean,
before Ferguson finished
I just
him.
think that he had Ben Henderson's number.
Yeah.
Some fighter like Chris Weidman had Silva's number, but Chris Weidman's not a great fighter. Yeah. But he had and Silva's numbers. It's some matchups.
Styles make fights sometimes. Right. Yeah, I'll take Morono. I'll take the Great White to get it done. Drag him to deep waters, and
other than that, I mean, there's not really much to talk. A lot of up and comers in this new one.
Yeah, on the prelim card here, nothing.
Sajara Eubanks fights every week. Your boy Bilal Muhammad.
I like Bilal Muhammad.
Local guy.
Yeah. Trolling you on Twitter.
Yeah.
I know you saw it. me and the gorilla.
Me and
Darren Till.
D-Till got you.
Remember, Bilal. Rule number 1 is cardio.
Yeah,
we love you. We love you.
With Baby Lima.
Yeah, I mean, this fight I guess we could touch on. Bilal Muhammad. I think Muhammad wins this fight.
I'm pulling just for local talent, and I hope Bilal pulls it off. But again, not really much to talk about in this prelim. The prelims. We'll talk more about it afterwards. We'll break it down for you.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it.
All right, guys.
Let's get into some fun stuff. Let's get to some gossip.
Well, we've been talking a lot about guys leaving the UFC, and recently
talk about a skunk at the garden party. God damn, I wanted Rumble Johnson back in the UFC.
This bummed me out too. Like I love Rumble Johnson. If you could tell by my rant on Charles Oliveira, you could tell why I love Rumble Johnson so much. He does not play no games. He is going to be
He's got the death touch.
I don't know where he's going to fight. Is he doing light heavy?
Light heavy. Light heavyweight division, because Coker's like this.
To debut at light heavyweight.
Yeah, Coker's going off again saying this fortifies and we have the best light heavyweight division.
I wanted so bad, juiced up. You saw Rumble Johnson's bodybuilding picture a few months back against Francis Ngannou. I wanted that
three-neck
fight
Johnson
so bad. 4 plates. We'll call them 4 plates.
Yeah,
but
I mean, do what you got to do, bro.
I'm hoping he's making tons of money. I think he's going to run that division. I think he might end up doing the champ deal in Bellator. He's already beaten Brian Bader. He's done it. And Brian Bader's going to feed right into it.
I think he just give him right to a title shot.
Well, they say he's here rematch with Bader or taking Corey Anderson.
He's going to destroy Corey Anderson.
I think he gets an immediate title shot versus Nemkov.
What's his name?
Give it to him.
I think he's going to fight a guy. What's his in the Bellator rankings? It's like Akadonis.
Wow.
He's like a Greek god. His name's like something like that. But
those are your people, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Don't fuck it up.
He's gonna get. I don't. That means I can fuck it up. It's totally cool.
Vanessa Demopoulos, meet your cousin
long
here.
lost cousin over here. She knows too. Demopoulos is like Smith for Greeks.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna get a fight like that. Someone that's gonna willing to stand with him, and then he'll get a title shot afterwards.
I just think you give him the title shot. I mean, you give him Corey Anderson. He's gonna beat Corey Anderson.
I don't think they're gonna give him Corey Anderson. Because Corey Anderson might make it a boring fight.
And Corey Anderson probably is going to be like, hey, I didn't sign up for this shit.
Well, not only that, like they're
Well,
gonna
they want that first fight
to be a highlight.
Right.
So, if you look through the Bellator rankings, he's like top. He's like number 9. His name. I was watching film on him. He's gonna stand and bang with him, and I think that's the fight they're gonna give him. Again, he's got. It's like Archimedes. I'm butchering it. It's terrible, but
He's fighting some fucking Greek philosopher.
he might even be Greek. He could be like Lithuanian or something too, because those names are similar. But that's who I think they're gonna pair him up with. Yeah, let's look this up so I'm just not totally looking like a douche.
But yeah, I think my biggest thing, I'm just bummed out. Like, I just wanted him back in the UFC.
I wanted him to fight John at heavy.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you saw you saw Dana throwing the shade at him.
Yeah, I don't
he's
know
he's avoiding the
You think so?
Use your imagination, dude, to the gills.
But do you think that they would let that, like, they care? Let's look at the light heavyweight Nemkov, who just beat the shit out of
Nemkov's
Bader.
beat up Bader.
All
pretty good.
fighters, how do we do this? They got this.
Damn,
Let's see the
Bellator,
A's.
get your shit together. There he is.
No,
Runes.
Julius Angelikas. That's the one right there. That's who I think he fights first.
It's weird.
Yeah, because he's the one that's going to give him, go light heavy.
Light heavyweight.
They're not going to give him Amersov. Amersov might be the one to get the title fight.
These guys don't even have pictures.
Man.
Yeah.
What about Phil Davis?
Again, they're going to make that fight boring.
Yeah.
Phil Davis want to wrestle him down.
Mm-hmm.
But
Rumble can handle that.
and
So.
Gleekus is, but I think they're going to want to give Rumble a highlight knockout.
Right.
And Julius Anglicus is going to stand there. He does not want to. He does not want to roll around the floor. And I think that's the first fight, and then they'll give Nemkov either Corey Anderson or go down. Where's his name? No, he's not there. Probably Corey Anderson is going to fight Nemkov, or the guy who's undefeated. What's his name? See, I'm not that well versed. Vadim Nekov's the champion. Amosov is the one I'm talking about. He is undefeated. He's actually the best record since Khabib is retired.
These are just all the
champs,
yeah. His name is something Amosov, but Khabib, he's got the best record in MMA. He's like 26-0.
Wow, let's see if Sakara's still going, huh?
That's all they're showing here for light heavyweight.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they just give him an immediate title shot.
No, I think so too. But Nemkov just fought. He just beat Bader this summer.
How do you think Corey Anderson's feeling right now? Fuck.
Yeah. Corey Anderson thought he's gonna start some easy paydays.
God, I am working overtime now.
We can also move to Ostovich.
Oh, man.
Another cut
Man,
here.
why are you trying to bum us out so much?
Man, bombers left and right in the news. We'll get a little bit better when we talk about Anthony Joshua's poo problems.
Yeah.
But Rachel Ostovich, probably the most popular fighter in UFC.
Not for her fighting.
I didn't say that. This is the most popular fighter. She dropped 3 straight. Apparently, not only is she out of the UFC, she is out of the OnlyFans game.
Yeah, she's saying we're all weirdos.
We're all weirdos.
Girl don't want to make money. She don't want to fight for money. She don't want to OnlyFans for money.
Why is that weird? Doesn't make any sense to me. If you can reach out to us on InTheGuard1, Rachel, and tell us why that's weird. Now, if we just totally, I guess maybe she probably gets a ton of DMs. Could you imagine what her DMs look like? Oh, man.
Oh, I could,
man.
but I don't want to.
So yeah, it's
yeah, I mean, not surprising. She's released. She stunk it up in there.
She's another one too that I think she got to the UFC too early. She wasn't ready to be at that level. No. She took a whole bunch of losses and she didn't really get developed because she was getting beat up.
She's had some personal issues.
Right.
Kind of piggybacking off that too, domestic things going on. I mean, you just don't know what's going on. I mean,
sometimes it's a curse to get to that UFC too early.
Yeah.
And you're in there and you're fighting these top fighters. You're not sharp enough.
Yeah.
We touched on it with Chase Hooper earlier. She does have a good ground game. She does have skill. She's not totally lost in the cage. If she had time, if these last 4 or 5 years she was fighting regional fighters or maybe a little bit lower level competition, developing herself, picking her opponents a little bit better, she may be able to come to UFC now and be a superstar because of her look. She's gorgeous woman.
Well, was it not that Mazzani was dropping from bantam?
Right.
So I mean, that was kind of a tough draw too. At the same time.
No, she's lost. She's fought some tough people. She's beaten some. I mean, she basically knocked Paige out, right? When she beat Paige Van Zandt, they gave Paige, we're gonna feed you to the Wolves page, and then you're gone. After that, like we only have room for one hot chick here.
Yeah.
But so I don't know where she goes from here.
I mean, I'd like to see her get picked up somewhere, refine some skills, make it back. She's got heart. She put up a good fight.
There's a lot of good women's promotions out there. You got like Invicta. Maybe she does go to LFA and fight for a little while and develop her stuff. She could be back in the UFC.
Yeah.
She might not be gone for good.
But OnlyFans, think about it.
Yeah, that's a good
Probably
way.
make more money.
You could probably afford some really good trainers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's step a little bit away from the MMA and talk about this super fight.
There we go.
That's
the fight everybody wants to see. Look at those chains.
So what?
Fucking absurd.
So how long are you gonna wait? You're gonna wait the price to go up to what before you purchase this?
Yeah, if you purchase now,
Yeah.
it's cheaper than if you
Interesting, right?
purchase
Tier pay
later.
schedule, huh?
Oh yeah, here it
That's
goes.
like the tough
There it
part.
is.
$25, increasing to 40,
It's like jiu-jitsu
increasing to
competitions.
60,
Right.
and then to 70. Yeah. Well,
I think like as time goes on, I go from like fizzle to sizzle. I don't go from or I go to sizzle to fizzle. I don't go fizzle to sizzle, like wanting to pay more as time goes on. It's like as time gets close, maybe I'll watch it.
This might be
Why
one.
would I want to pay more?
Like where I might accidentally stumble across
Accidentally.
a stream somewhere and peep out. I don't know if I really want to pay for this. I mean, I watch pro wrestling, people, so I will watch any kind of confrontation, real, fake. It does not matter. I love any kind of combat sport, but this is just a total cash.
Seems
grab.
like the only circus we're getting during COVID time. So
Right, absolutely. There's not much to do, right? You have a lot more money in your pocket because
the
you can't
local
go
fair
nowhere.
ain't coming to town.
Right.
There's no other side shows going on.
Now that
so-
being said, Logan Paul. This isn't Jake Paul. Logan Paul is a big dude.
Yeah.
right.
He's
That's
a
the only
big
thing. He's
dude.
a really big guy.
And he's a college wrestler. I think at Ohio University he wrestled. So he's a big athlete. So what are they doing here? Like,
I
is-
don't
is-
know,
is
better
there-
pay
man.
some taxes. is
Like,
what's
like
going
I don't
know.
But Floyd is a better.
They're getting money from advertisers. That's what they're
miles
doing.
better boxer than he is, right?
Right.
But he's big as hell. Floyd's not going to knock him out.
Right.
He's giant.
Yeah.
And if he accidentally gets clipped by one of those punches,
I could see a body shot doing it.
right? Now Logan does have some pro boxing matches, right?
I don't know. I mean, I think this could be, the McGregor fight over again, where Floyd plays with him for 6-7 rounds.
Logan's like 200 pounds, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's
but
a
to
big
the
dude,
To the body,
but
it ain't gonna matter much.
Once you start getting into them deep rounds,
Yeah, and you're hitting them in the
Mayweather
body.
doesn't need to throw,
But
bombs
Conor
on
did
you.
land an uppercut on Floyd.
Yeah.
If a guy the size of Paul lands an uppercut on Floyd, that could be some trouble. No, I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't. There's no.
I think that diaphragm retracts enough times. That's gonna be it. I think he's gonna hit it. I think he's gonna stop it from the body. That's what I think.
I don't think there's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a snooze fest.
That could be that too.
I mean, let's be honest. Mayweather fights have always pretty much been snooze fest, man. I mean,
Yeah.
he's always put on
I know,
a
it's pretty
long
exciting
fight. He's
when
not
you
a
hit
knockout
Ortiz.
guy. I mean, I'm gonna watch it because I'm a boxing fan, but I mean, just for the hope that, I think there's.
But like Floyd's a defensive boxer. Where's the offense gonna be? What's Paul gonna do? I don't know where this goes.
I don't know enough about Paul to really analyze his abilities to fight, other than he's a big dude and that KSI fight. But yeah, I think this just goes probably the distance.
Yeah, you have like
And-
the greatest boxer, arguably the greatest. Okay,
I was
argue
gonna-
all you want.
The greatest
boxer
defensive boxer.
But it's like, why are you doing this
against
Floyd?
an amateur.
Like,
what are we
what's
doing here?
motivating him?
Well,
think
I
that's
can
the
tell you
biggest-
Why
exactly
know what's
why.
motivating?
It's a money. He's going to make
He's got plenty of money.
millions and
Floyd's got
millions.
plenty of.
I think it's an attention
habits
thing.
too.
And
Yeah, I think it's an
bills, right.
attention thing. I say I want to be in the fucking limelight.
Well, I think I was looking up the
Boredom?
pay scale on
Yeah.
this,
Boredom
and that
thing.
Tired of
too.
watching strippers dance,
Floyd likes training too. Floyd's got a crazy work ethic when it comes to training.
it's probably ego. It's that I'm 50-0 and I'm just going to
But
do
does this
what I
even
want.
help your ego? What is this?
Yeah, you're beating.
No, nobody.
It's the thing that
lose-lose.
I mean, this is
I
going to
can
sell.
beat up 50 kindergartners on pay-per-view, but it's not going to help my ego.
It's going to be one of the highest pay-per-views out there for the year.
Oh, yeah,
So it's
for
just going to
sure.
stroke his ego, and he's going to make tens of millions. He's making 50% of pay-per-view, and I think several million up front, right?
Right.
Paul's making like 300,000 and 5% of pay-per-view. So Paul's not making
Well, I
very
know
much
what
money.
Logan Paul's doing. It makes a lot more sense for me what Logan
yeah.
Paul's doing. He's
Right.
in a win-win situation. He
Right.
can't lose anything here. Whereas
Right.
if accidentally Paul hits you and you go, oh, you're done.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to run it
I
back?
mean, it ain't gonna happen.
Hey,
Yeah.
crazier things have happened.
Than that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
we just saw a 70-year-old men fighting in a boxing match, basically.
Yeah,
Like,
That's
crazy
true.
things
That's
have
true.
happened.
That's true.
We always joke. It's like we basically saw like a real life Rocky. That's like the Rocky was
Yeah, I
kind
mean,
of life.
I've got no. I mean, yeah, if I'm
Again,
somewhere and this is on, I'll watch it, but
Yeah.
I'm not paying for it.
I
have no interest in.
If I accidentally come
in it.
across a stream that I'm unaware it's illegal, I might watch it.
Well, I mean, we could just talk about this leading into Conor McGregor never gonna fight Jake Paul anytime soon,
Good.
according to Dana White. I don't. Does Dana White have ultimate control over what McGregor can
Yes,
and can't do?
in the fight world, he does.
Yeah.
But even Jake Paul says it's not going to happen soon.
Yeah.
Jake Paul was saying like 3 to 5 years at.
Yeah,
at
he
the
wants to work.
least.
He wants to work.
He's like, I
up
have to
to it.
work my way up to Conor McGregor. I'm not ready for Conor McGregor.
I would agree with that statement. That
Yeah.
also means he's working up at the same time McGregor's on his way down.
Yeah,
you
yes.
know?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And like on the flip side, Jake Paul's again. We kind of talk about Chase Hooper being young. Jake Paul's only 23 years old. So if he's training, that's like
Consistently,
like
yeah.
Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder started boxing around the same age that Jake Paul did.
Yeah, it's not an MMA fight where you have to learn so many different
Right.
things.
So if
you
he's
know?
training for real,
You're-
he's really putting himself into it. In 3 to 5 years, he could beat Conor McGregor.
yeah,
in a
you're
boxing
focused
match.
on one art.
Yeah.
Um,
So he's actually attacking it smart. He's not saying, hey, I'm going to beat
But
him
yeah,
tomorrow.
but like I mean, I'm tired of the let's get some boxers into the MMA. Like, wait, Clarissa Shields
know what it
stepping
is?
up to the plate finally.
it's because
but,
boxing sucks. like
I mean,
like
I
MMA
wouldn't
has
say
made it
that,
obsolete.
but-
MMA has made it obsolete. Like I know when you go watch a boxing fight, and I watch the big matches, it's true. But you watch a boxing fight, the best boxer of that fight's going to win. So if one guy's a better boxer, one woman's a better boxer, okay,
Yeah.
it's over. Very, even knockouts are
Yeah.
exciting in boxing.
I mean, obviously MMA's it's more true to form, right? Where boxing is a legit sport.
Right.
It's like sport jujitsu.
Right.
Like this is the only things you can do. You can only do this. It's not like where if I see you on the street,
yeah,
oh, it's fair
anything
game.
goes right.
Yeah.
It's
Whereas
the closest
MMA is the
thing-
closest thing to
right,
that.
to a real fight for your life.
But you're boxing, you can't throw knee. Kickboxing, you're getting a little bit more leeway. Muay
Right.
Thai, a little bit more leeway, but there's no takedowns. It's
the weird 10 counts and all that
Yeah.
other stuff. I boxing's on its last legs. We just had a big world title match that nobody cared about. We're talking about this.
Right.
I forget the names of the people are, but there was a big title fight like 2 weeks ago.
we started getting those.
It's
lower
right when they
levels, yeah.
announced the Floyd.
You're
Earl-
talking.
was
You're
it
talking about
Spence?
Earl Spence and,
and Mayweather's guy,
Garcia?
Gervonta Davis.
Javante Davis knocked out. Who was it? What was the guy's name?
That wasn't that fight.
Was it
No,
Spence Garcia?
Javante Davis knocked out a Garcia. I think
There was just a world title fight. It was the same night we watched UFC.
and then Earl
Pit
Spence
16.
fought. God, I can't remember who it was.
After his car accident, he came back.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
But exactly,
Yeah, but nobody. Yeah, like you don't hear a lot
and
of talk
nobody
about boxing.
cared.
Yeah.
There's 9 million belts. Each guy comes to the ring with 10 different belts on. Who's
How
the
many
champion?
weight classes are there? Too?
Right,
There's
every 3 pounds is a weight
yeah,
class.
it's insane.
It's kind of like now. People make claims like boxing's gonna die. But no, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like it's always gonna be there. I do appreciate good boxing for sure, but I don't get excited for it.
So yeah, the Earl Spence was against Danny Garcia.
Okay.
That was the Garcia.
And that's like announced the
fight.
same day that Logan Paul is going to fight Floyd. And everyone was talking about that. Nobody was talking about this world title fight that just happened between
Yeah.
two of the best boxers at their weight.
Right.
So it kind of shows where it goes. That's going to keep boxing alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, boxing has been.
That's pretty much what Mike Tyson was saying, right?
Right.
Like it's getting exposure back to the
It's
sport.
bad when you're more excited.
You need freak shows to bring people
the
to
only
boxing.
boxing match I want to see, I think we'll talk about a little bit later, is
Fury Joshua.
Fury Joshua. That's the one I'm excited for. That's mostly because of Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
I want to watch him do anything.
Right.
And the heavyweights make everything more exciting.
Yeah.
But again, there's 9 million weight classes, 9 million federations. Everyone has 3 titles walking there. Everything's a unification fight. How is everybody a champion? If everybody's a champion, nobody's a champion.
Yeah.
It's hard to follow.
Well, let's move on to Cody.
Cody, no love.
All right.
Trying to bring Henry Cejudo back. What are we thinking about this, guys?
First off,
I like the Twitter fights.
I mean, what are the odds that Cejudo comes back? Like, I
Cejudo's
think
gonna
that's-
come. Cejudo
definitely
will
believe that.
come
what
back.
weight class it is, who it is, I have no clue. I think people are all getting in line trying to get that fight.
Yeah.
I think he's really set on fighting Volkanovski. That's what he really wants. He talks about. That's the only person he talks about fighting, like in the UFC.
Yeah.
Is Volkanovski. He always calls him the dwarf, whatever, all the different names he calls him. He wants that third division title. He wants that. I don't think he wants to cut back down
Yeah.
to the smaller weight classes anymore. He's walking around about 170 right now. He's a
I
big
believe
boy
it.
right
I
now.
believe it.
Hanging out, smoking weed, hotboxing with Mike.
Right.
Yeah.
So Cody's stepping up. Cody knows the Henry fight is a bigger money fight than fighting for the 125 title.
Yeah.
That's the fight he wants.
I don't know now. I mean, Deuce Guerra's making a big name and stuff like that. I think it's. I'd like to see Deuce Guerra, Cody Garbrandt. I mean, I think that. After what I saw last night, I might give Cody Garbrandt a little bit more of a chance if he can recover fully.
Yeah, with the real big question marks with Cody's health right now.
Yeah. Like at first I was like, nah,
Because he's
Davison's
coming
gonna-
off the COVID, and I guess during having it he was fine, but now he's getting all those after effects
Yeah.
like blood clots and loopiness and things like that. So hopefully he's okay.
because you're seeing the flyweight in Moreno, give Figueiredo a little bit of trouble, but
Moreno's like a freak though.
it's
I
so
think
good.
Cody goes out.
I
I think Cody couldn't finish
Yeah.
Figueiredo, but I think Cody goes out with a lot of
Yeah.
those shots that Figueiredo landed too.
yeah.
Can Cody take what Moreno did?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody can.
I just
was
love
freaky.
Davison Figueiredo. He has killer instinct. He
Right.
fucking goes to kill you.
But I also think that Cody could ice him.
I think so too with a counter.
But I think, like I said, like I just said a second ago, the shots that he was hitting on Brandon Moreno,
Yeah.
anybody else goes out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, he hit him with a bunch.
Joe Benavidez flew across the cage when he got hit with these shots,
Yeah.
and Moreno's like, "Give me more. I'm
Yeah.
coming back at you. I'm coming forward. Coming
Yeah.
forward at you."
Even the jabs you saw Moreno's head.
Man,
He's
he's still smiling.
Yeah.
He's still smiling, coming forward. Got the chin of Jenna Jameson.
Fucking hell.
Power.
Mexican McLovin.
Man, he's probably been punched in the face since like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Boxing, he just takes shots.
Singing
all day.
while he does
And
it.
he's happy in the interview. He's all beat up. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun. I'm gonna
Serenading
hang out
people.
for a little bit and then come back, fight next.
Yeah.
We'll come back and run it back.
Punch me some more.
Cody,
Yeah, fuck.
we kind of talked about Cody before too. Like he's the type of guy, if he comes out in the right mind state, can beat anybody though. He can beat anybody in the world. But if he gets caught, and if he gets caught in this pissing contest online and goes in that cage not level headed, pissed off, I don't know. I don't think Cody's got a shot.
He's got to be smart. He's
Right.
got to be strategic.
We seen him in TJ. He rocked the shit out of TJ. He saw some blood, but lost his cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then TJ came out and finished him.
Yeah.
Whereas we saw him calm against a Sun Sao, and he has one of the best knockouts you've seen in 2020.
Yeah.
He looks sharp.
But then
he
you
was
know
calm,
he
was
goes
crisp.
out there. Who is it that put him on his ass? Pedro Munoz.
Yes.
He did the same with Munoz, and Munoz knocked him out.
If he gets caught in a pissing contest, which
Yeah.
he already kind of is.
But Munoz can take
But
him
on
too.
the flip side, I don't think Cejudo can hit like that. Cejudo's not a knockout type guy. He's a wear you down. I'll beat you in a fight. I'll wrestle you to the ground.
He's more well-rounded. He's
Right.
got the tools.
He's the type of guy, if I'm going to knock you out, to be TKO, ground and pound punches,
Yeah.
volume knock you out. I personally would love to see it because I want to see Cody get a big fight.
It's just so crazy though. Those flyweights and bantamweights, they've just traded blow for blows. Like some of I beat you, you beat me, I beat you. The MMA definitely doesn't. Math does not add up in those two divisions.
MMA, I'm telling you, you play the MMA math game, you
Yeah.
are in trouble.
Yeah.
You are in trouble.
Well, let's move out. Quick shout out to our favorite ring card girl on our way back.
Welcome back.
Oh, hello.
Ariane Celeste, congrats on your first baby.
Yeah.
She helped me through my teenage years.
Yeah. Congratulations. Still looking good. I think she looks better.
Yeah. She definitely
She's like a fine wine, getting better with age.
She definitely was on point. I didn't even know I was shocked that it was her. Like, wait, she's back?
Yeah.
Like it was like
Wait, I know you were pregnant, but it doesn't look a tidbit like you even had a baby.
no. See, yeah, it was
Like-
great to see her out there.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been a ring card girl for a
She was
long
the-
Yeah.
time.
I had that Playboy. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had them all, but I
That
had
was
that
a-
one.
that was
for
a good
sure.
one.
Like, when it's coming.
Yeah.
Like Ariana's coming.
Yeah.
She was like, it was her. It was Chuck Liddell. It was Tito Ortiz. It was Ariana Celeste. They built the UFC to where it's at.
Yeah,
you know?
she is.
Ring card girl of the year 5 times.
There you
in
go.
the World
Surprised
MMA
it's not
award.
more.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, it was
more,
good to see.
shouldn't
Good to see her back. Glad she had everything went well.
Right.
You know, she looks great. She looks
She
fantastic.
hasn't aged one
Yeah.
bit.
Right. All right, let's move on to fight announcement.
Ooh.
We think this is gonna happen
Bobby
here,
Knox.
guys.
Bobby
Whitaker?
Knox, let's do it.
I think this is a
Costa.
really great fight.
I'm still in the
personally.
firm. I think that's a great fight. I think Whitaker wins it.
Oh yeah.
But I am in the camp that if I'm Robert Whitaker, I am only fighting one person, and it's Stylebender, Adesanya. I'm not taking anything until I get that fight.
Yeah. But they were talking about making this for an interim. I'm so tired of this interim shit. You know, it's
Right.
like
Well,
it's frustrating, you know?
Well, it's a double-edged sword. If you want these super fights and people going around different weight classes, you're gonna have to have interim titles. It's gonna have to happen because if you're gonna
But why not just
hold the
vacate
division-
and move up to that division?
Right.
Like, I think if you're going to move up and you're going to fight light heavyweight and you win that belt, defend it. Vacate the middleweight and start defending the belt. It's like the same thing what Conor did. Conor moves up from featherweight, doesn't defend either of those fucking titles.
Right. Never.
You know, that's a bad thing about Conor. It's like, dude, yeah, you won the titles, you never defended them.
Right.
It's like, okay, so Izzy, you want to move up. If you happen to beat Blachowicz, that's your new home. Defend the title at least once, and then you can come back down and fight.
But you can defend both in one year.
Screw the interim shit. Vacate it. I'm vacating to move to fight.
I wish there was a more like uniform. This is if you don't defend in this much time, it gets vacated.
Yeah.
Like if you have to defend at least once a year.
Yeah.
At least once in a calendar year, or you know, it's just the fact that it's like on a whim. They're like, oh, I'm gonna make this interim title fight. Like that's kind of like, is this a legitimate?
Well, it's like
sport or
Bader
what?
defending his in Bellator. You know, it's like, you know, you go up, you're Izzy. You want that.
2020 is an exception to the rule because with COVID and cancellations and things moving around, like it's a total. You kind of throw this year out the window with all those defenses. But like in a normal situation, like there should be a time frame. If you don't defend that title in 7-8 months, you're gonna vacate it. That's what happens, and that's the way we're gonna run it.
Yeah.
But
It's like yeah, hold on to the belt, go up there, win
it's
the light
kinda
heavyweight.
like the rankings. It's too much at Dana White's whim,
Yeah.
so it makes it seem a little bit less legitimate.
Well, it's all money show. It's a money. Everything's for money. You know.
But then they don't have rankings. They just don't have rankings.
I think like you.
Well, but the rankings make the money,
Yeah.
right? Like you need
Yeah.
the rankings to make the fight exciting.
I'm just saying, you want to go up to light heavyweight. That's all well and good. You go up there. If you win, you vacate the middleweight title. There's none of this interim stuff. Just vacate it, and you need to at least defend that title once to prove. Like, don't go up there because that's a pick. Like, you're like, okay, I see Jan Blachowicz. I can beat this guy.
Right.
You weren't talking like John Jones was there.
Hell, he was talking.
He was
to John
talking noise to
Jones
John Jones, but like,
forever.
I'm just talking about like in general.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, with the whole Conor thing, you go up beat Eddie Alvarez, but you don't want to stick around for those other killers waiting behind you.
Right.
Now you want to call out Nate Diaz at 170 just to say you're at welterweight, but we all know Nate Diaz is a 155er.
Right.
Same when you came back and you fought Cerrone. 170 at Smoke and Mirrors. Cerrone's a 155er.
Right.
You're not fighting true welterweights. Fight a true welterweight.
No. You're fighting true welterweights. Don't get me started on weight cutting.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's
Look at these other guys cutting to 170 where they're coming from.
Well, I think what
Imagine
we're both.
Conor versus any of those top five in the
One thing
170
we
division.
both could agree on right here is that there has to be some kind of like rule or code or like some kind of uniform set of a pattern. Like if you go up, okay, it's gone. Or if you don't say, there's got to be some kind of parameters.
Yeah.
Like they're just doing. It's like
Yeah.
all on a whim. It can't be like that.
There's a lot of these guys, and you and I are going to agree on this with Cowboy Cerrone. You know, a lot of these guys that are not going to be champions because they fucking fight.
Right.
They don't sit here and wait for moments. They just fight.
They don't pick their opponent.
And that's why they got losses on their records
Right.
because they're fighting the who's
Right.
of the divisions. And these other guys, some of these guys who have been champs have not done that. Even Ferguson's got a raw deal. The dude
Right.
will fight anybody.
Right.
That's probably why he's not going to be champ. You know, it's like besides interim champ.
Right.
Poirier, another one, fights everybody. Was able to do interim, but he's not. You know what I'm saying?
He got that fight though. He got the Khabib
Yeah.
fight. He got a shot at it.
Whereas you get people kind of like, I mean, I love McGregor, but I still think he's been kind of, you know, pushed to the top.
Well, McGregor is just a lightning in a bottle. You got that guy. You got to get everything you can out of him while he's there. Like
Yeah, he sells.
Like, not only is he sells like because of his personality. I mean, we got the proper right there going on. But like, I honestly think Conor McGregor is underrated.
Well, I think he's
I
underrated.
think because of his personality and what he does. I know I'm kind of leaning towards
Yeah.
Poirier in that fight just because of crispness or whatever. We'll talk more about that when it comes up. But like, I think Conor McGregor is totally underrated. Now I'll give Conor shit. I love doing it just because I know his fans go fucking ape shit. And it gives me a little bit rushed to troll a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, like Conor is great on the feet, right? Kickboxing, he can knock out with his feet, knock out with his hands. He's got underrated takedown defense, and his ground game is good. Like he's not like some super high level jiu-jitsu guy that's going to tap you from every angle or pull out some crazy, leg heel hooks or anything like that. But he's good down there.
Yeah.
Like, and I think everyone gets caught up in all the hoopla, all the out of the cage stuff, that they forget how good he really is. And they hope he loses. They forget. It's kind of like the Floyd Mayweather thing.
That's what, like, I wanted to see him stick around and defend those titles because I know he can defend them.
Right.
Like, do it, dude. Like, I think you beat the majority of those guys at 155. I think you beat everybody pretty much at 145.
Conor got too big for the fishbowl, though.
Yeah.
That's what he outgrew the fishbowl.
Like, I don't see anybody 155 right now. I don't really see them beating Conor.
Well, I think any of them.
Now that Habib's gone.
I think any of them could beat them. That division.
Well, anybody can beat anybody.
No, but that division, if there is a division where anybody can beat anybody, it's that division.
But I think a lot of those guys play into Conor's strengths.
Yes, but again, you have that top 10 in the lightweight division is pretty much interchangeable.
I think he can potentially knock out most of those guys.
No, he can knock out any of those guys.
Yeah.
But they can beat him too.
Yeah. But yeah, I just want to see these guys defend titles. You want to jump weight classes, that's cool. But once you jump it and you win it, or you jump down, jump up, whatever, defend it.
But I mean, that kind of goes into, we kind of talked about a little bit off air with the whole Ali Act that's going on right now. They don't really own their title. Like at any time, with his latest passing, whatever happened with it. I mean, I'm not like the most well versed in the Ali Act, but it kind of gives boxers more power over who they fight, when they fight. The titles are theirs, all that stuff. If that keeps going down the road, you might see even longer holdups for those titles.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going the other way, not the way that you're thinking right now. Right. Which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for MMA. It's kind of nice for us as fans that they can say, we're going to put this fight together. And you're going to do it or you're gone. You know? But I got to suck as a fighter.
Yeah.
It works both ways.
It's one of the things we're outside looking in. Like, we don't really know what all, lubes up the machine.
And honestly, like that bouncing around belt collecting, it trickles down.
Yeah.
Like Adesanya working his way up to light heavyweight, that's going to trickle down. Even those guys, if they're doing an interim fight or they're just going to fight, that's going to bring more eyes to that pay-per-view. The money's going to trickle down. It's going to make everything a little bit better for everybody. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if there should be some certain set of rules. If you don't defend that title in 6 months, it's gone. Even if you're injured, you come back and get a title shot when you're done being injured.
I mean, it's just like even like MMA. It's like the whole boxing scoring setup. Like I don't think they need to innovate.
Right.
It's like the 3 rounds, 5 rounds, 5-minute rounds, 10 9s. It's like what? I mean, I just want those old pride rules back.
MMA is the king of innovation.
20-minute round.
MMA is the king of innovation, right? Fight Island.
Yeah.
Come on. They brought back sports.
But it's also probably prevents. I guess people are gonna get gassed in those big rounds, right? Like, what do you do if you blow your load within 4 or 5 minutes? You're not going to get those 2 minutes to recharge.
There'll be no decisions.
No, there'll be no. People will get finished. But that's how that's how it should be, right?
I think we got one more thing to touch on here, guys, if we want to. Anthony Joshua.
I personally did not watch this fight. The only thing I know most from this fight is the tweets that I saw.
Yeah, Tyson
while
Fury,
I was tweeting the UFC event.
The Gypsy King himself.
I don't even know who Pulev is.
No. Man, going back to boxing, like you had a world heavyweight title match. Now, as a kid, like the world heavyweight title when the Tysons and Holyfields and even Lennox Lewis, like when that was on, the world was like stopping. Everybody was watching the world heavyweight championship. Now, barely the world even knows what's going on. Yeah. Nobody knew it happened. Yeah. Until Tyson Fury.
I mean, we got 3 big guys in the heavyweights,
and one guy
Joshua, Fury,
has all the excuses in the world.
Wilder, right?
Wilder.
Deontay Wilder to Donald Trump of boxing right now.
Yeah, there was what's his name was up there for a while. Was it not Luis Ortiz? He was kind of hanging around
he was up there,
but he kind of got there when he got older. He kind of got to the game old.
And then Wilder
Where's
put
Butterbean
him to
when you
sleep.
need him?
Somebody's just talking about Butterbean. I forget what it was. He's big.
Yeah,
now.
I'm sure.
No, you think he was big before? He's big now.
But yeah, like I was tweeting the event and I saw Teddy Atlas come on the screen saying Joshua had the ghost of Ruiz in his head, and I can see why, and then Fury throwing the shade, throwing the jabs,
right.
Pretty much Joshua shitting himself on live TV.
And this is kind of the double-edged sword of what we were just talking about with like the fighters having more control. But that's how you get like Joshua fighting some guy named Pulev that we don't know, while his only real competitor sitting at home tweeting about him shitting himself.
Yeah.
Like with the freedom that these boxers have, they do things like this. Luckily, you have guys like Tyson Fury that kind of he kind of forces the issue. Like he makes it happen. The way we're running his mouth. If Joshua does not take that fight, I mean, whatever legacy he has is gone. There's no way he can dodge that.
Yeah, I mean the other fight to make is another Wilder fight, but I just don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon.
Man, like I said, it's like it's like the election all over again. Listen to Wilder talk. Like it's a Campbell. Like everything.
First, it's the suit's too heavy.
The suit's too heavy. Got poison.
His team,
he's cut my ears, and
it's like, no, dude, you got outskilled.
Like now, do you not once you want to say in the ring he beat me? Like you would have got a fight part back already.
Yeah.
Like let's be honest. Like those are two fights I watched, and Tyson Fury beat you 99.9% of all that fighting. Mm-hmm. There was one moment where you caught him, you kind of separated him from the soul a little bit, but then he got up and he beat you in that round. Like there's no question who the better boxer between you two are. There isn't. In two fights, whatever. There's no hint that you had a shot. Did you wear that stupid suit the first fight?
Yeah.
And even if it was the suit, who decided to wear the suit?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Own your shit.
Yeah.
Own your shit.
Right.
Where's Jocko?
It's that classic thing where fighters are starting to blame their camps and they're separating their coaches and like you got to the dance, you got to where you're at with these coaches. All of a sudden now they're bad.
They need to call Mike Perry.
Yeah.
I know how to fucking fight. I don't need coaches. This is on me.
At this point, right? What
he don't sound so crazy now, does he? He owns his shit. Right?
Well, I think that probably wraps us up for this week.
Right. Yeah.
A couple big things. Our website is up. We are officially on iTunes and all those big major platforms where you're going to get all your podcasts at. So be sure to subscribe. And we would love some reviews on iTunes. That really helps us with the rankings and stuff like that. Yeah. Again, super active on the Twitter, on the Instagram. Got a Facebook page. Yeah, on Fight Nights we're live tweeting and
get on there.
You can argue with us.
If there's a card going down, we're on there tweeting. We'll put the whiskey and wagers up there, right? Our picks for the night. Our head-to-head picks against each other.
Yeah, those are going up before every fight too. So might help you in your betting game. Yeah.
Join us, have some fun. You see how we are. We jab at each other. Come on.
Talk some shit. We'll talk some back to you.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week. Reviewing the fights that we predicted this week. So, thanks so much. In the Guard. Podcast.com and all those other social media fun. Go to intheguardpodcast.com and then we'll have links to everything else there for you. And obviously we're on YouTube, iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, all that fun stuff too. So thanks so much. See you next week.
All right. Thank you.